Yung ano?
In the middle. It's the same here.
Please down. Relax.
How old are you? The youngest now is Biron.
Presi. Walang presi. Walang presi.
But he's not the best. Yung Benjamin is science yata. Pero Biron.
Tumatawag ka sa akin.
Mamaya na yan. Do you understand that? Kasi sometimes, start at a certain point.
Ang lamig.
Sometimes, medyo malabo. Pero, I can
Hindi.
set guide.
Thank you. It's good.
And also,
Okay.
it depends. It depends on the topic. Like for example,
Session is called to order. Please rise for a short prayer to be led by the Honorable Deputy Speaker Evelina Escudero.
Heavenly Father, as we gather this afternoon in this session, we ask you that you be in our midst, enlighten our hearts and minds, and help us to make decisions that will be pleasing to you. Help us to be able to discuss the pressing matters at hand in a reasonable way and to be willing to give up having our own way for the good of all. Lord God, we ask you also to make this session productive, and as should be in the case in all our endeavors as legislators. Help us to always uphold the interests of our constituents as well as the interests of the Filipino in general. We also include in our prayers the victims of recent calamities, the earthquakes in Mindanao and other calamities, the other parts of the country. May they not despair and find hope in you. May we open also our hearts to help them in any way that we can. All this we ask in Jesus' name, amen.
Please remain standing for the singing of the national anthem. Majority Leader,
Madam Speaker, I move that we defer the calling of the roll.
is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is called. Carried.
Madam Speaker, I move for the deferment of the approval of journal of the previous sessions. So move, Madam Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is carried.
Madam Speaker, I move that we now proceed with the reference of business and request the Secretary General be directed to read the titles of bills and resolutions on first reading, as well as communications and committee reports. So move, Madam Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is carried. Secretary General is directed to read.
Reference of business. Bills on first reading. House Bill Number 5510, regulating the manufacture, use, sale, packaging, distribution, and advertisement of vapor products. Representative Herrera D.
To the Committee on Trade and Industry.
House Bill Number 5511, amending EO Number 209, otherwise known as the Family Code of the Philippines. Representative Gico.
To the Committee on Revision of Laws.
House Bill Numbers 5512 and 5526, establishing the rules and policies on domestic administrative adoption proceeding of Filipino. Representative Saulog and Villafuerte.
To the Committee on Welfare of Children.
House Bill Number 5513, strengthening early childhood care and development system. Representative Ako.
To the Committee on Welfare of Children.
House Bill Number 5514, providing for the establishment of the No Calls and No Text registration system. Representative Romulo.
To the Committee on Information and Communications Technology.
House Bill Number 5515, establishing a Health Promotion Fund and Health Promotion Commission. Representative Nograles 1.
To the Committee on Health.
House Bill Number 5516, establishing a national policy in preventing teenage pregnancy, institutionalizing social protection for teenage parents. Representative Nograles 1.
To the Committee on Population and Family Relations.
House Bill Number 5517, recognizing Westfields International School Incorporated as an educational institution for international character. Representative Lazatin.
To the Committee on Basic Education and Culture.
House Bill Number 5518, providing for the driver's education as an elective for senior high school students in public secondary schools. Representative Lazatin.
to the Committee on Basic Education and Culture,
House Bill Number 5519, converting the Mabalacat City Extension Office of the LTO located in Mabalacat City, Pampanga into a regular LTO district. Representative Lazatin.
to the Committee on Transportation,
House Bill Number 5520, strengthening food safety standards in schools. Representative Escudero.
to the Committee on Food Security,
House Bill Number 5521, institutionalizing responsible dog ownership in the Philippines. Representative Fernandez.
to the Committee on Health,
House Bill Number 5522, providing for the inclusion of the study of the Constitution as a subject in the curriculum of senior high school students under the Enhanced Basic Education Program. Representative Defensor Lawrence and Guroseta.
to the Committee on Basic Education and Culture,
House Bill Number 5523, mandating hotels and resorts with swimming pools and beach fronts to employ lifeguards. Representative Aragones.
to the Committee on Tourism,
House Bill Number 5524, reorganizing the COMELEC offices. Representative Dalipe.
to the Committee on Suffrage and Electoral Reforms,
House Bill Number 5525, establishing a national high school in Pasalmanta, Zamboanga City to be known as the Pasilmanta National High School. Representative Dalipe.
to the Committee on Basic Education and Culture,
House Bill Number 5527, expanding further the jurisdiction of the Metropolitan Trial Courts, Municipal Trial Courts in cities, Municipal Trial Courts, and Municipal Circuit Trial Courts. Representative Villafuerte.
to the Committee on Justice,
House Bill Number 5528, creating the Philippine Marshal Service. Representative Villafuerte.
to the Committee on Government Reorganization and the Committee on Justice,
House Bill Number 5529, authorizing the advanced use of the BOC 2019 excess tariff revenues from rice importation and other possible sources, a special emergency fund, setting up the Rice Farmer Financial Assistance as direct cash transfers to rice farmers. Representative Villafuerte.
to the Committee on Agriculture and Food,
House Bill Number 5530, establishing a multipurpose fishery breeding farm and hatchery for the production of milkfish in the municipality of Carmen and in the island garden of the city of Samal, province of Davao del Norte. Representative Duhali.
to the Committee on Agriculture and Fisheries Resources,
House Bill Number 5531, granting educational assistance and benefits to the dependents of all members of the AFP, PNP, BFP, BJMP, NBI, PIDEA, PCG, and Bucor who are killed or permanently incapacitated while in the performance of their duty or by reason of their office or position. Representative Hernandez.
to the Committee on National Defense, Security, and the Committee on Public Order and Safety,
House Bill Number 5532, creating an additional branch of the RTC in the province of Laguna to be stationed at the municipality of Los Baños. Representative Mariano Hernandez.
to the Committee on Justice,
House Bill Number 5533, establishing TESDA Training and Assessment Center in the city of Cabuyao, Laguna to be known as the Cabuyao City TESDA Training and Assessment Center. Representative Mariano Hernandez.
to the Committee on Higher and Technical Education,
Resolutions. House Resolution 533, appealing to the government and private sector to implement on an experimental basis the proposal of a 4-day work week. Representative Berzaga.
to the Committee on Civil Service, Professional Regulation, and the Committee on Labor and Employment,
House Resolution 534, requesting the Special Committee on Basis Conversion of the House to inquire into the resolution of the Sangguniang Bayan of Capas, Tarlac, requesting for a review of RA number 7227 or Proclamation number 163, series of 1993, to exclude for military use portions of Zone C in the said municipality. Representative Coangco, Yap Victor, and Villanueva Noel.
to the Committee on Rules,
Communications, letter dated November 4, 2019, of Delphine N. Lorenzana, Secretary, DND, submitting the department's report on the implementation of martial law in Mindanao covering the month of August 2019.
to the Committee on National Defense and Security,
Committee report, report number 84 of the Committee on Natural Resources on House Bill number 4119.
to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader,
Madam Speaker, with leave of the House, I move that we open the privilege hour. So move, Madam Speaker.
is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion is approved.
Madam Speaker, I now move that the gentleman from the 2nd District of Maguindanao, the Honorable Ismael G. Mangudadatu, be recognized to avail of the privilege hour. So move, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Magundadato is now recognized.
Thank you so much, my colleague. Madam Speaker, thank you. Mr. Speaker, my venerable colleagues in this august chamber, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. A pleasant afternoon to one and all. A few days from now, a group of people will be commemorating the memory of their departed loved ones who passed away in the most gruesome election-related violence in our country and in what was also dubbed as the single deadliest event for journalists in world history. As the 10th anniversary of our collective loss in Nai, I take this liberty to stand in privilege before you today to share my experience, thoughts, and reveries regarding the ghastly 2009 Maguindanao massacre. My experience, thoughts, and reveries as a member of this country lawmaking body, as a former elective local official, as a local leader who has to be courageous and strong for the sake of the families of his departed supporters, relatives, friends in the media, and as a brother who has lost his siblings, as a husband who has lost his wife, and as a father to his children who have lost their mother. So where did it all begin? Some of you may ask, as a law-abiding, peace-loving Filipinos who were also clamoring for changes to secure to ourselves and our posterity to the blessings of democracy under a regime of justice, peace, liberty, and equality in the province of Maguindanao, my family and I made the decision for me to file my candidacy for the gubernatorial race of Maguindanao in spite of the odds. Kung sa Tagalog pa, malaki at makapal na pader ang aking babanggain sa aking pagtakbo bilang gobernador ng Maguindanao para sa lokal na halalan ng 2010. But at that time, we must act in spite of all odds. Otherwise, our province would forever be thrown in the dustbin of history as the epitome of leadership incompetence, ruinous corruption, and pointless nepotism. With the death threats that I had been receiving from left and right, my family, being full-blooded Maguindanaoan Muslims, decided to let the women in our family file on my behalf my certificate of candidacy. And we opted for this course of action because as Muslims, we took to heart the declaration of Allah in the Quran, specifically the 4th chapter in An-Nisa, verses 34 and 127 to 130, that in essence mandate us to respect women. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, the seal of the prophets even declared, "Beware, the best of you is he who is the best towards his women, and I am the best among all of you toward my women." Muhajja al-Baidah, Volume 3, page 98, in the book Sirah al-Nabawi, book number 4, page 251. And Prophet Muhammad was quoted to have said, People of you, people of your wives have rights over you, and you have rights over them. I command you to do good women, because they are trustees from God in your hands, and they have become lawful to you by divine law. These injunctions that seep in our Muslim traditions led me to believe that even if the Ampatuans hated me for my guts to run for governor, they would still treat women, such as my wife, my relatives, and friends with utmost respect and reverence. Because in Maguindanaon culture and in Islam, we accord high regard upon women, children, and elderly, and they are not to be included in any conflict amongst men and families or clans. Moreover, I earnestly believe that the presence of our friends from the media and the lady lawyers would deter any attack upon the convoy of my wife due to the special attention that the media industry was receiving from local and international organizations, including the United Nations, as part of amplified calls to further protect all media personnel from harm so they can have freedom to practice their profession. Kumbaga, untouchable ang media kahit nasa war zone pa sila. However, on the fateful morning of November 23, 2009, at the National Highway of Ampatuan, Maguindanao, the convoy of my wife, even if accompanied by media personnel and lady lawyers, was flagged down by hundreds of armed men, led by Unsay Ampatuan Jr. and Police Chief Inspector Sukarno Dikay, who forcibly took them to a slope of rolling hills in a remote sitio in Barangay Salman, Ampatuan, Maguindanao. My own wife and her companions were brutally killed in broad daylight. Most of the victims' mangled bodies were hastily buried with their vehicles riddled with bullet holes. Unsay Ampatuan Jr. and his minions mercilessly took away from us my wife, siblings, close relatives and associates, and 32 media practitioners and 6 other civilian casualties who were mistaken as part of their convoy. 58 people had their lives lost, and 58 families and some more had their lives changed forever. To say that I was very heartbroken when the bloodbath took place is an understatement. Words are not enough to describe the utter shock and the consequent grief and sadness that I felt when I learned about the incident. I was literally speechless for a few days, as if my whole being was crushed by the improbability of the incident to happen, but nevertheless, it happened. As if a black hole pierced my heart when someone so special to you was taken from you so suddenly yet grievously. Sleeplessness, severe anxiety, and I admit an unceasing quest for retribution filled my whole being. I felt very sorry to the 58 families, most especially the orphan children, and to the mothers who had to bury their departed sons or daughters. I felt downtrodden and extremely dejected because I knew that with the untimely and cruel murder of one family member, it is also as if death has been brought to a certain extent to life of the victim's family. If only the voice of reason and the fear of God had reigned in the most unfortunate moment, and the victims were allowed to walk away for even just 5 minutes, then there would be no need for grief, agony, and outpouring of cries for justice. But no, they were not allowed to walk away. Instead, they were mercilessly and odiously killed in a broad daylight like a sharp machete that efficiently slashed over a row of helpless stalks of grasses. And not only were they brutally murdered, many of them, especially my wife, siblings, relatives, and my friends in the media, were literally slaughtered as they were shot on each of their breasts, in their private areas. My wife, Janeline, alone bore 17 gunshot wounds in her body, including a long, deep hack at her backside. To accept the reality of what happened to my wife, siblings, relatives, supporters, and friends in the media was a very difficult task that was imposed on me and to the families of the victims. But I learned belatedly that the aftermath, that is, in the search to achieve justice, has become graver, daunting task. You have to bear the spectacle of seeing your family, friends, and supporters wallow in pain, misery, anger, and suffering due to the loss of their loved ones. While at this, you also have to contend with maintaining your sanity, as you also wallow in unbearable pain, misery, suffering, and disbelief. I was very angry that the human side of me wanted to take the law into my hands and avenge the deaths of my loved ones, friends, supporters. But then my fear to Allah and my desire to put an end, even in my own small ways, to the senseless, riddles, or cyclic killings among feuding clans in my beloved province of Maguindanao has caused me to entrust my plight to Allah and to seek justice through our courts and the Philippine criminal justice system. Masyado po mahirap ang pinagdadaanan namin ng mga biktima ng 2009 Maguindanao Massacre. Mr. Speaker, hindi po biro yung dami ng aming mga nailuha, yung aming mga kaba, yung aming mga adjustments. Hindi po biro ang aming pagkadismaya sa pagbaliktad sa testimonya ng ilang mga witnesses namin. Sana hindi rin po biro-biro lang ang aming mga pagod, agam-agam, at mga panalangin habang inaantay namin ang pagbibigay ng karampatang katarungan sa karumaldumal na kamatayan ng aming mga mahal sa buhay, samantalang alam na alam namin na marami sa mga kasabwat ang hindi pa nahuhuli at pag-alagala lang doon sa amin. Personally speaking, Mr. Speaker, hindi rin po biro-biro lang ang lagi na lang ako kinakabahan dahil 9 na beses na rin ako sinubukang patayin sa pamamagitan ng mga bomba o di kaya ay sa pag-ambush. Marami na ring mga times na kidnapin at ambusin ang aking mga anak. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, maintindihan man din siguro ninyo ang pait at sakit bilang isang ama o ina kapag mapilitan kayo na ilayo na lang ng husto sa inyo ang inyong mga anak at makiusap na lang sa kung sino-sino na bigyan na lang sila ng ibang identidad para hindi malaman ng ibang tao na mga anak ninyo pala sila. Maintindihan nyo man din yung takot na lagi ko lang nadarama sa tuwing may nababalitaan akong nabaril at napatay na kabataan. Pati ang labis kong paghihinagpis nung namatay ang aking may namahal na ina nang may mabigat na kalooban dahil hindi niya nakita ang pagbaba ng hatol at ang pagkamit namin ng makabuluhang hustisya sa pagkamatay ng aking minamahal sa buhay. Opo, marami na po sa aming kanya-kanyang pamilya ang pumanaw na dito sa ibabaw ng mundo na hindi man lang nadudungawan ang sinag ng katarungan. Subalit, hindi pa rin po kami bumibitiw sa aming pananampalataya sa ating hudikatura. Kami ay patuloy pa rin po nananalig na ang katarungan na aming inaasam ay aming makakamtan. And so, Mr. Speaker, my honorable colleagues in this chamber, I stand before this august body to speak before the 58 murder victims because they can no longer speak for themselves. For as the saying goes, a dead man tells no tale. As the 10th anniversary of the Maguindanao Massacre is approaching, we, the family of victims, are still waiting for the dispensation of justice. We express our dismay over the defense ploy to make up stories alleging the recantation of our witness testimony. They may have succeeded in doing that on 2 of our listed witnesses back then. But we believe that they are not going to succeed in their machinations because we trust that our courts and the Justice Department, with the President Rodrigo Roa Duterte at the helm of the government, and will not allow any mockery of justice system, neither for evil triumph over good. And though it further delayed our quest for justice, we still welcome the one-month postponement of the promulgation of the court decision on the multiple murder case we filed 10 years ago, which is dubbed as Marathon Trial. As Martin Luther King Jr. once said, "The arc of moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Hence, even if we still have to wait the promulgation of judgment, we are certain that in one way or another, we shall still attain justice. We thank the Department of Justice and Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes of Quezon City, RTC Branch 221, for trying, attending to, and giving priority to all the cases we have filed in relation to the 2009 Maguindanao Massacre. Nakapaghintay at nakapagtiis po kami ng 10 taon at ang karagdagang isang buwang paghihintay ay aming tatanggapin ng maluwag kaakibat ang aming panalangin na sana ay mapaboran kami ng korte base sa aming credible na ebidensya. Ang isang buwan ng pagtiis ay aming makakaya kung ang katumbas nito ay mabibigyan na rin sa wakas ng katahimikan ang kaluluwa ng aming mga minamahal sa buhay. Nonetheless, on behalf of the 58 murder victims and their respective families, I am appealing to President Rodrigo Roa Duterte, to the Supreme Court of the Philippines, to the Department of Justice, and to Judge Jocelyn Solis Reyes for justice, real justice to be served, and the maximum penalties be imposed. Both parties of the case had already presented their evidences, arguments, and witnesses. We rely on the impartiality of the judge in trying the case, Mr. Speaker. We are praying and appealing for the verdict that is acceptable to us, to the media community, and to everybody else who is longing for the end of impunity in our land. Thus, we are ardently praying that God will hinder any outside intervention from anyone out there that may adversely influence the judge's decision. We are praying and appealing for an acceptable verdict on the basis of the testimonies of the eyewitnesses, credible witnesses, and the concrete pieces of evidence that have been presented by the prosecution in the course of the court proceeding, which have never been impeached, refuted, and rebutted by the defense. At kung sakali man na hindi kami papanigan ng husgado, Mr. Speaker, masasabi ko na hindi talaga ito magiging katanggap-tanggap sa amin ng mga pamilya ng mga biktima. Ano nga ba ang dahilan at nangyari ang lahat ng mga ito? Who has the corporate power to order the transport and use of a provincial government equipment like the backhoe to excavate large holes intended as mass graves for the bodies and vehicles in an effort to cover up for their crime? With Allah as our witness, as we have placed our trust and faith in our courts in the Philippine criminal justice system, ipinapanalangin po namin na sana ay hindi kami mabibigo dahil naniniwala kaming lahat sa buong katapatan ng husgado na naglitis ng kaso napapanig sa katotohanan at malakas na ebidensya ng prosekusyon laban sa mga mga akusado na walang awang kumitil sa buhay ng 58 mga inosenteng mga tao, kasama na rito ang aking asawa, mga kapatid, mga kamag-anak, mga kakampi at mga kaibigan sa media outlets. Mr. Speaker, we do not wish for another Maguindanao massacre to take place. Thus, we are clamoring for the dispensation of a favorable verdict on our side because we all know that there is just too much crime, just too much killing going on around us, and the dispensation of a guilty verdict may act as a deterrence to some elements out there, for it shall strongly signify that this government strictly means business in its war against criminality and impunity. On behalf of the 58 murder victims and their respective families, I am clamoring for real justice to be served to remind everyone of the wisdom of walking away from confrontation or temptations. No matter how strong the urge is, all it takes for us is to stop and walk away, even for just 5 minutes, to think for ourselves of the net goodness we may attain when we refrain from acts of criminal retaliation or violence. On behalf of the 58 murder families, I am asking for real justice to be served so that this may act as a reminder to some power-hungry politicians out there that murder and other forms of impunity will not go unpunished, and be it in this life or in the hereafter. On behalf of the 58 murder victims and their respective families, I am praying for a verdict favorable on our side, as it has been a long time coming for the victims' families to receive closure, and as not to repeat some glaring lapses that I had observed in the past. I humbly ask for this chamber to initiate a legislative intervention in the operations of the Philippine National Police. Specifically, I seek for the Congress of the Philippine to pass a bill, and for this matter, further amend the Republic Act number 6975, mandating the Philippine National Police and augmenting funds for the same institution to establish a dedicated scene of the crime operation, or SOCO team, in each of the 1,489 municipalities in the country to conduct immediate crime scene processing, such as collecting, handling, and preserving of evidences over crime happening in their jurisdictions. I do this because when I experienced the Maguindanao massacre, it took us 3 days before we were able to secure SOCO personnel to properly investigate the crime. Hindi po kasi lahat ng probinsya, let alone mga munisipyo o siyudad sa ating bansa, ay may PNP SOCO team. In the case of Maguindanao Massacre of 2009, kinailangan pa po naming mag-request ng SOCO team from PNP Region 12 dahil walang may padala na SOCO team ang PNP Maguindanao Police Provincial Office at ang PNP Provincial Office Arm. This is despite the fact that Maguindanao Province and its fellow armed composite provinces are heavily populated and are among the provinces that register the highest in terms of crime rates in the country. The need for a SOCO team to be present in all municipality, or in at least in big municipalities, is made more pressing in Muslim communities or in areas which are inhabited by Muslims, because our traditions require to bury our dead relatives within 24 hours from the time of his or her death. Hence, for those victims of violent crimes who are Muslims, there is an urgent need for him or her to be autopsied within 24-hour limit, and this cannot be done without a SOCO team nearby. The fast and competent investigation of crimes and facilitation of the consequent prosecution of such crimes in court will discourage individuals from seeking extrajudicial remedies, such as RIDOs and the like, since families of the victims are now more confident that they can secure justice in our justice system. In the final analysis, having an efficient SOCO team in all, or at least in big municipalities, will greatly aid in the achievement of justice in our country. Once the bill is legislated and enacted into law, the SOCO team will be able to outrightly process and preserve the crime scene and maintain the genuineness and credibility of pieces of evidence left and found in the scene of the crime for its admissibility in court. In a few days, I will have my own version of this bill, and I am appealing to you, Mr. Speaker, and to my colleagues in this chamber to urgently pass the bill, for it is of utmost necessity and efficient and immediate crime scene investigations can significantly improve the chances of successful, fair prosecution of crimes in our country. There's so much more that we have to do, and passing this bill will be part of the process so that the crimes like the Maguindanao massacre will be investigated fast and thoroughly, thus discouraging those who have the intention to commit such grisly crimes in the future. To many who are still suffering, 10, 20, 30 years of waiting for justice has been much too long, and the waiting can sometimes be discouraging. But there is still hope. This proposal to establish a SOCO team in every municipality is at least one step forward toward the fast and fair dispensation of justice. It may take some time to see this proposal and its objectives to take form and turn to reality, but let's not lose heart. Let's persevere. Let's keep faith. Before I end my speech, may I request everybody to offer a 1-minute prayer in silence in memory of those who perished in the Maguindanao massacre.
Please rise.
Thank you so much.
Majority Leader.
May the Allah bless their souls and to continue to guide their families. Let their names be remembered and echo in the four corners of this chamber. Kung po pwede lang po, mamarapatin po ninyo na banggitin ko yung mga pangalan ng mga biktima. My wife,
Please proceed.
Janeline Tiamson Mangudadat. Thank you, Madam Speaker. My wife, Janeline Tiamson Mangudadato. My sister, Eden Mangudadato. Rowena Mangudadato. My cousin. Manguba Mangudadato. My aunt. Farida Sabdullah. My cousin, Farida Mangudadato, my sister. Farina Mangudadato, my sister. Concepcion Brizuela, my lawyer. Cynthia Oquendo, my lawyer. Catalino Oquendo, the father of Cynthia Oquendo. Rasul Daud. Alejandro Bong Reblando, from Manila Bulletin, correspondent. Henry Araneta of DZRH, Napoleon Salaysay, DZRO manager, Bartolome Bart Maravilla, Bomboradio, Joy Dulay, Gold Star Daily, Andy Teodoro, Ian Subang, Lea Dalmasio, Gina de la Cruz, Marites Cablitas, Neneng Montaño, Victor Nunez, Ronnie Eduardo, Daniel Tiamson, Renaldo Momay, Ray Merisco, Ronnie Perante, John Legarta, Val Cachuela, Santos Gatchalian, Joel Parcon, Noel Dicena, Jan Caniba, Art Betia, Rani Razon, freelance journalist, Archie Ace David, Fernando Ferds, Mendoza, Eduardo Lechoncito, Cecil Lechoncito, Mercy Palabrica, Daryl de los Reyes, Wilhelm Palabrica, and Anthony Ridao. May we receive justice in the name of Allah, or the Lord. Sana po, Madam Speaker, Mr. Speaker, and my colleagues in this chamber, sa darating na Disyembre, makukuha na namin ang hustisya. Allah bless us. Thank you very much.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable Nina Taduran of Party List Act CIS for her manifestation. So move, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and Majority Floor Leader.
Honorable Taduran is recognized.
Kami po sa ACT-CIS Party List sa pangunguna po ni Congressman Eric Goyap, ni Congresswoman Jocelyn Puwat Tulfo at ang inyong lingkod, kami po ay we empathize and sympathize sa ating pong kapwa kongresista na si Honorable Ismael Mangundadato ng 2nd District of Maguindanao kasi bilang isa rin pong media practitioner at nasa 4th Estate. Alam ko po yung nararamdaman niya dahil kami rin po sa media nawalan po kami ng 45 mga magulang at yung kanilang mga pamilya dahil nga po sa massacre na ito. So we are one with the nation in awaiting justice for the massacre victims and their families. We feel and share their pain because regardless of religion, we are brothers and sisters. May that fateful day be never repeated anywhere in the world. God bless them all. Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker,
Madam Speaker, I move that we refer the
Speaker.
speech.
may we be given a chance to manifest?
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Lito Atienza
The Honorable Lito
for
Atienza
his
is
interpellation.
recognized.
Madam Speaker, the issue raised by our colleague is one that bothers not only Mindanao, it bothers the whole country and the whole world. Paano po yung kasong alam naman natin lahat kung ano nangyari? 10 taon na, ay wala pa rin desisyon. Ito po ang larawan ng ating katarungan. Kaya dumarami ang krimen, hindi na huhuli ang may sala. Kaya ako po'y nagpapahayag 100% support for the initiatives of the gentleman, Mangundadato. Buhay Party List is most concerned with this issue. In the same manner that we demand that justice be meted out to all those killed in cold blood and up to now have not been given justice in the country. Andiyan po, si Cesar Climaco. Andiyan po, si Evelio Javier ng Antique. Andiyan po, si Ninoy Aquino ng ating bansa. Sila pong lahat ay pinaslang. Subalit hanggang ngayon, wala pong inihahayag ang ating Department of Justice na mga may sala at dapat panagutin. Tawagin na natin ito Department of Injustice because they do not render justice to our people. And one of the main reasons for the breakdown of order in the nation precisely is the inability of government to bring to justice those who commit a crime, especially heinous crimes of murder, assassination, killings of people helplessly without even the government bothering to do something about it. Kaya kasama po ang Buhay Party List, nananawagan kami kay Pangulong Duterte. Ipakita po ninyo, Ginoong Pangulo, ang inyong tunay na pagmamalasakit sa ating katarungan. The only way to progress is an efficient justice system. For as long as our criminal justice system is what the gentleman has pictured to all of us, we will not be able to solve the problems of the nation no matter what we do in Congress. Those who are guilty of the Maguindanao massacre should be put forward and rendered justice. Not tomorrow, but today, as we recall the heinous crime committed on innocent people, they must answer here in this life at hindi dapat ipaubaya sa kamay na lamang ng Panginoon. Katarungang ibibigay ng Pilipino sa kapwa mga kriminal na Pilipino. Ikulong, pagdusahin, yan lang ang tanging paraan. And we will continue to call the attention of the government on this issue. as we join hands with our brothers who are grieving on the loss of their loved ones in the Maguindanao massacre. We commend the courage of our colleague as we also admire his consistent, sustained effort to render justice to his beloved. Ganon din po ang nararamdaman ng inyong lingkod. Naghihimagsik po ang ating damdamin na ang mga pumapaslak ay hindi napaparusahan sa bansa. Yun ang dahilan. Kaya tayo hanggang ngayon mahirap. Hindi natin mabibigyan ng solusyon ng ating ekonomiya kundi pinagdurusa ang mga may sala at ikinukulong ang mga kriminal. Maraming salamat po.
Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Mangudadatu to the Committee on Rules and each interpellation to the Committee on Rules for its proper disposal. Dispositions. So move, Madam Speaker.
The speech of the Honorable Mangudadatu is referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may we recognize the guests of the Honorable Christopher de Venecia. They are the members of National Disability Council, Ms. Maria Celia Fernandez, School Division Superintendent, Ms. Socorro Di Malanta, SPED Supervisor, Mr. Valentina Hortaleza, Principal, West Central School, Pangasinan. Madam Speaker.
The honorable guest of the Honorable Christopher de Venecia is welcome to the House of Representatives. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you.
Madam Speaker, may we recognize the guests of the Honorable Rudy Coagdan of the 2nd District of North Cotabato from the Federasyon ng mga Kapisana ng Senior Citizen ng Kidapawan City, namely Morita Gayotin, Alexander Nalzora, Mila Cinco, Benedicta Yamomo, Constancio Vilvestre, Mary Joraline Eda, Lolita Palgalan, Romano Abartigue, Quirino Espenida Letada, Ananya Sarque Sarigumba, Alfredo Daquio, Ezequiel Apoluna, Conrado Abalos, Mirna Baron, Adelaida Letada. Madam Speaker. Sorry.
Meron pa.
Meron pala. Bernarda Veras, Margarito Labado, Prahides Manayag, Romulo Oton, Marlita Alado, Orsolino Lumantao, Benita Estrada, Rogelio Henosas, Norma Kaadyang, Daniel Gersava, Marilyn Santos, Federica Aliling, Proceso Posadas, Erlinda Pantaleon, Nena Suarez Emnace, Joscora Panique, Amada Gornes, Sonia Pedrajas, Corazon del Monte Lucero, Paciencia Aspila Descartina, Nepomucena Quimico de los Santos, Gloria Katipay Sarce, Rizalina Ribay Nahilta, Florinta Lana Magbanwa, Luz Biminda Rebamonte Panisa, Milagros Tayo Atam, Felicisma Kanya Verdon, Dionisha Likit Bulawan, and Alma Letada Cabilles. Madam Speaker.
The guest of the Honorable Rudy Caugdan from the Federasyon ng mga Kapisanan ng Senior Citizen ng Kidapawan City Incorporated. You're all welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may we also recognize the guests of the Honorable Majority Leader Ferdinand Romualdez and Honorable Yeda Romualdez of Tingog Party List from the University of the Philippines, Visayas, Tacloban College, Division Management.
The guest of the Honorable Ferdinand Martin Romualdez of Tingog Sinarangan Party List Representative Rieda Marie Romualdez is welcome to the House of Representatives.
Madam Speaker, may we also recognize the guest of Honorable Josefina Tallado of the 1st District of Camarines Norte. They are Honorable Leslie Esturas, Honorable Sammy Avellano, Honorable Arlene Conmigo, Honorable Elmer Malaluan, Honorable Levi San Antonio, Honorable Santiago Valdez, Honorable Rodel Cardenas, Honorable Annalyn Ajero, Honorable Norberto Murillo, Honorable Bregido Puacar, Honorable Christopher Besing, Honorable Romel Regidor, Honorable Antonio Mayao, Honorable Michael San Jose, Honorable Eduardo Hueves, Honorable Antonio Obiña, Mr. Domingo Basero, and Mr. Fernando Bargais.
The guest of the Honorable Josefina Tallado of the 1st District of Camarines Norte is welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may we also recognize the guest of the Deputy Speaker, Pablo Jose F. Garcia, from Toledo City of the Province of Cebu. They are Bonifacio Tatad, SP Secretary, Brian Barkin, Amilen Pardillo, Godofredo Lungakit, Feligrena Resane, Dana Lee, Taifel Abad, Silvia Donan, Bernardita Segismar, Simbad Rosil, Azenit Alcomendras, Abraham Alimenes, Celerina Mahilum, Maria Eugenia Pabonita, Jason Pilapil, Sinonet Fernandez. Madam Speaker.
The Honorable guest, or the guest of the Honorable Ferdinand, Deputy Speaker Pablo John F. Garcia of Toledo City, Province of Cebu, are welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, may we recognize the guests of the Honorable Representative Paul Ruiz Daza and Representative Jose Ong Jr. from the faculty and law students of the University of Eastern Philippines College of Law. Faculties Attorney Darlene Basiloy, Attorney Clarence Ms. Creola, Administrative Staff Nemia Onrejas, Alfredo Tico, Jonathan Camacho, Irene Ambida, Robert Gallardo, and students Betty Ganso, Nona Karin Servito, Sheila Loreno, Andrew Acedera, D.L. Evan Orot, Stacy Pederio, Dave Matthew Abella, Jerry Ombrog, Kenneth Avalon.
The guests of the Honorable Daza and Ong are welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Carlos Isaganiti Zarate of Party List Bayan Muna for his privileged speech. So move, Madam Speaker.
The Honorable Carlos Sarat is recognized.
Maraming salamat, Madam Speaker. Bago po ang lahat, gusto kong, in behalf of the Makabayan Bloc, gusto kong ipaabot sa ating kasamahang si Congressman Toto Mangudadato ang aming pakikiisa sa kanya. Kasama na ang 58 pamilya ng 58 naging biktima ng Ampatuan Massacre. Madam Speaker, sa ika-23 po ng Nobyembre ay magmamarka ng mahalagang pangyayari ang ating kasaysayan at sa kasaysayan ng karapatang pantao sa daigdig. Ang darating na ika-23 ng Nobyembre ay ang International Day to End Impunity na itinalaga sa araw kung kailan pinaslang ang 58 katao kabilang ang 32 media workers sa bayan ng Ampatuan sa probinsya ng Maguindanao noong ika-Nobyembre 23, taong 2009. Madam Speaker, mga kapwa ko mambabatas, isang dekada na ang nakalipas mula nang maganap ang karumaldumal na Ampatuan Maguindanao Massacre, ang pinakamadugong araw para sa mga mamamahayag o journalist sa ating kasaysayan sa buong mundo. Marahil dahil sa tagal ay nakakalimutan na ng iilan kung gaano kalagim ang araw na ito. Kung atin pong babalikan, Madam Speaker, tinambangan ng humigit kumulang 100 armadong katao, mga private army ng warlord clan na Ampatuan, ang convoy ng media at ng mga tauhan at pamilya ng noon ay Buluan Town Vice Mayor Ismael Magudadato na patungo sana sa opisina ng Commission on Election upang maghain ng kanyang Certificate of Candidacy bilang gobernador ng probinsya ng Maguindanao. Ang ilan sa mga babaeng naging biktima ay ginahasa at mas masahol pa, pinagbabaril ang kanilang mga ari. Pinagbabaril din ang 2 mga buntis. Pagkatapos silang pagbabarilin, ang lahat ng kasama ng convoy at ang isang sasakyan na napadaan lamang mga sibilyan sa pinangyarihan ng pagpatay ay hinulog na lamang sa nakahandang hukay sa gilid ng kalsada ang mga katawan ng mga biktima. Kasama na ang may bahay na ngayon nga ay atin ang kasamahan sa kongresong ito, si Representative Ismael Tuto Magudadato ng ika-2 distrito ng probinsya ng Maguindanao. Kasama rin, Madam Speaker, sa mga napaslang, ang aking matalik na kaibigan at kasamahan sa Union of People's Lawyers in Mindanao na si Attorney Concepcion Connie Brizuela na siya ring abogada ng pamilyang Magudadato. Madam Speaker, mga kapwa ko mambabatas, anong klasing sistema ang nagluluwal ng ganitong klasing karumaldumal at garapalang maramihang pagpatay? Anong klasing lipunan ang nagbibigay ng kapangyarihang pumatay sa isang pamilya at ang kakayanang mag-aruga ng mga berdugo sa kanilang bakuran? Anong klasing sistema ang nagkakait sa hustisya ng ganitong kabigat na krimen sa loob ng 1 dekada o 10 taon? Madam Speaker, the Ampatuan Massacre, for one, is emblematic of the dangers posed by private armies, militias, and paramilitaries, and how it became one of the pillars of the reign of impunity in our country then and now. Yet the government, then and now, is not clearly serious in addressing the problem. For one, Madam Speaker, mga kapwa kong mambabatas, ang kawalan ng pananagutan sa Ampatuan Maguindanao Massacre ay salamin at tanda ng umiiral na inhustisya sa ating bayan na pinaghaharian ng mga naghahari-harian, kung saan ang higit 27,000 na pinatay, 5,000 sa tala ng PNP at halos 22 homicides under investigation sa gera laban sa droga ay tila isang numero na lamang. Napakaraming pagpatay, napakaraming patunay sa pagkabigo ng hustisya sa ating lipunan. Naghahari ang mga mamatay tao sa ating bansa. Walang puknat rin ang pagsisiil sa mga karapatan ng mga aktivista at mga kritiko, lalong-lalo na sa kasalukuyang administrasyon. Ang mga nag-iingay at tumututol laban sa mga paglabag sa karapatang pantao at hustisya para sa mga pinaslang. Tukhang sa mga aktivista ang ginawa sa Negros Island nitong kamakailan lang. Kinatok sa pinagbabaril ang 14 na mga magsasaka sa magkanugnog na baryo sa Negros Occidental sa tinawag na Canlaon Massacre na naganap nito lamang Marso ngayong taon. Ito, Madam Speaker, ay kasunod naman sa nataguriang Sagay Massacre na pumaslang din sa siyam na gutom na mga magtutubo sa parehong probinsya noong Oktubre ng nakaraang taon. Sa kabilang banda, Madam Speaker, Kung hindi ka naman papatayin at bubulukin ka na lamang sa mga piitan. Nasa higit 600 na ang mga political prisoners, mga aktivista, peace advocates, manggagawa, katutubo, mga magsasaka na ikinukulong sa gawa-gawang kaso upang pigilan ang kanilang paglahok sa mga organisasyon o sa mga politikal na pagkilos o diskurso. Ito ang mga kasong karaniwan ay mga tanimbala, tanimbomba upang tiyaking makulong ng mahabang panahon nang walang tsansang makapagpiyansa. Madam Speaker, ito ay isang tahasang pagsiil sa karapatan at pagyurak sa hustisya at demokrasya. Ngunit ito ay laganap ngayon sa ating bansa. Sagasa pa rin sa karapatang pantao at demokrasya ang ginagawang pag-raid naman sa mga legal na opisina ng mga pangmasang organisasyon nitong nakaraang buwan lamang o nitong nakaraang buwan. Ang mga organisasyong ito ay kilala sa pagtindig laban sa paglabag sa mga karapatang pantao, korupsyon at iba pang mga isyong pambayan at ekonomiko. Ginambala ang araw ng mga yumao noong nakaraang mga araw nang pasukin ang opisina ng aming partido, ang Bayan Muna, at iba pang progresibong organisasyon sa Bacolod, Escalante, at maging dito sa Maynila. Dinakip ang 64 na katao, kabilang ang mga minor de edad sa Bacolod at Escalante, at 2 sa Maynila dahil mayroon daw silang mga baril at mga pampasabog na natagpuan sa mga bahay at opisina. Kakatuwa man at di kapanipaniwala ang paratang na ito, Ginoong Speaker, nakakulong pa rin ang aming mga kasamahan. Hanggang sa kasalukuyan, tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang banta ng pag-aresto at raid sa iba't iba pang mga opisina. Ito ay ang isa pang mukha ng pasismo at impunity sa ating bansa sa kasalukuyan. Ginoong Speaker, mga kapwa ko mambabatas, tinakasan na ba tayo ng hustisya at pagpapahalaga sa buhay at karapatan ng mamamayan? Napakadalas at napakalaganap na ang patayan, kawalan ng hustisya, panggigipit at karahasan na tila normal na itong mga nangyayari ngayon. Hindi natin ito dapat payagan at hayaan, Ginoong Speaker. Kamakailan ay nagsimulang mangalap ng suporta ang Makabayan Bloc, ang Bayan Muna, Gabriela Women's Party, ACT Teachers at Kabataan Party List na suportahan ang mga mambabatas laban sa persekusyon ng aming partido at mga miyembro, kabilang ang iba pang mga demokratikong organisasyon. Ang inyo pong suporta para sa Makabayan Bloc ay ang pagtindig para sa mga demokratikong proseso kung saan tayo ay kabahagi at kabilang. Ito ay pagtindig para sa karapatan. Ito ay pagsuporta para sa pag-iral ng hustisya sa ating bayan. Pagtindig din ito laban sa impunity o kawalang panagutan sa ating bayan. Mr. Speaker, sa ika-10 taon ng ating pag-aalala sa Ampatuan Maguindanao Massacre at sa International Day to End Impunity, higit pa sa pag-aalala sa mga napaslang at sa panawagan ng hustisya para sa karumaldumal na krimen na ito, ay nananawagan po tayo sa inyo, mga kapwa ko mambabatas, na labanan natin ang mga panukala at pulisiyang sumasagasa sa karapatan ng ating mamamayan. Tanggihan ang mga batas na nagpapalalim at magpapalawak sa patayan at karahasan. Wakasan natin ng isang sistemang nagluwal ng diktador na katulad ng diktador na si Marcos, nagluwal ng pasista at kurap na mga kasunod pang mga administrasyon. Sistemang nagbunsod ng estado ng walang pananagutan o state of impunity sa ating bansa. Wakasan natin ang sistemang nagpapahintulot sa mga sumunod na mga rehimen at administrasyon pagkatapos ng diktador na si Marcos na ipagpatuloy ang mga parehong patakaran na tuloy-tuloy na nagpapahirap sa ating mga mamamayan. Mr. Speaker, sa ika-23 ng Nobyembre, ang mga pamilya at kaibigan ng mga biktima ng Ampatuan Massacre ay muling igigiit at isisigaw ang paghingi ng katarungan para sa mga biktimang pinaslang. Kaya ang atin pong panawagan pumanig sa demokrasya, karapatang pantao at kalayaan. Ang lagim ng Ampatuan Maguindanao Massacre ay lumalaganap sa ating bayan. Dapat po natin itong labanan. Nais ko pong tapusin, Ginoong Speaker, ang aking talumpati sa paghingi ng ilang minutong katahimikan upang ating pong masaksihan ang isang video para po maalala natin ang mga naging biktima ng Ampatuan Massacre.
Adolfo, Araneta, Ariola, Montaño, Cachuela, Tesena, Oquendo, Bataluna, Caniban, Ali Calim, Brizuela, De la Cruz, Kadagdagon, Betia, Cabilio, Kalimbol, Edsa, Dalmasio, Duhay, Cablitas, Mangudadato Hasan, Mangudadato, Ante Mangudadato, Gatchaylan, Legarte, Lupogan, Maravilla, Núñez, Merisco, Evardo, Morales, Tiamson, Salaysay, Razon, Reblando, Bernan, Erante, Palawan, Parcon, Demilio, Sabdula, Balayman, Subang, Lechoncito, De los Reyes, Daud, Ayada, Sapalon Abdul, Teodoro, Palabrega, Ridao, Momay.
Hustisya para sa mga biktima ng Ampatuan Maguindanao Massacre. Hustisya para sa lahat ng biktima ng walang kapanagutan or impunity. Karapatan ng mamamayan ipaglaban and impunity now. Maraming salamat, Ginoong Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the privileged speech of the Honorable Zarate to the Committee on Rules for its appropriate action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Carlos Zarate is hereby referred to the Committee on Rules.
Mr.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend the privilege hour. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion approved. The privilege hour is hereby closed. Or suspended, rather.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we call the roll. So move, Mr. Speaker.
The Director General, Secretary General is hereby directed to call the roll.
Roll call of members. Honorable Representatives. Abante. Abaya. Abellanosa. Abu. Abueg Zaldivar. Abunda. Acop. Acosta. Acosta Alba. Jong. Pincula, Agabas, Agrao, Aglipay, Aguinaldo, Albano, Almario, Alonte, Alvarez Franz, Alvarez Hinaro, Alvarez Pantaleon, Amante Matba, Amatong, Daya, Angara, Aragones, Arbison, Arenas, Arroyo, Atienza, Aumentado, Babasa, Bagatsing, Balindong, Bañez Nograles, Barba, Barbers, Baronda, Berzaga, Bascug, Bautista, Bautista Bandigan, Belmonte, Benitez, Bernos, Biason, Billones, Biron, Bolilla, Bondok, Bordado, Bravo, Rosas, Bulot, Bustos, Kabatbat, Kabotchan, Cabredo, Cagas, Calderon, Calixto, Caminero, Campos, Kanama, Kawagdan, Cari, Castelo, Castro Franz, Castro Fredinil, Cayetano Alan Peter Compañero, Cayetano Maria Laarni, Celeste, Chato, Chipeco, Chungalao, Co Angelica, Co Elizalde, Coanco, Colliantes, Crisologo, Cua, Cuaresma, Cueva, Culyamat, Dagook, Dalipe, Dalog, Daza, De Jesus, De Venecia, Defensor Lawrence, Defensor Michael, Del Mar, De Los Santos, De Los Montalia, De Maporo Abdullah, De Maporo Muhammad Khalid, Duavit, Duhali, Duterte, D. Faustino Ino, D. Faustino Michael III, D. Ian Paul, Ebcas, Ecleo, Elago, Enverga, Erice, Ergel, Ermita Buhain, Escudero, Espina, Espino, Estrella, Fariñas Ria, Fariñas Rudy Caesar, Fernandez, Fernando, Ferrer Juliet, Ferrer Luis, Flores, Pongwan, Fortun, Fortuno, Frasco, Fuentebella, Gaite, Garbin, Garcia Jose Enrique, Garcia Pablo John, Garcia Vincent, Garin Janet, Garin Sharon, Gasataya, Gatchalian, Gato, Heron, Go Ed, Go Mark, Gonzaga, Gonzales Aurelio, Gonzales Neptali, Gonzales Carlo, Go Rosetta, Gico, Gullas, Guya, Haresco, Hataman, Hernandez, Herrera D, Hofer, Halus Hos, Javier, Jimenez, Ko Elisa, Ko Wilton, Kong Hun, Labad Labad, Lacson, Lacson Noel, Lagman, Lagon, Lara, Lasatin, Liachon, Legarda, Lim, Lim Kaichong, Lopez, Loyola, Losotan, Macapagal Arroyo, Maceda, Madrona, Malapitan, Mangawang, Magundadato, Marcoleta, Mariano Hernandez, Marino, Marquez, Martinez, Matba, Matugas, Mendoza, Momo, Natividad Naganyo, Nava, Nieto, Noel, Nograles Jericho, Nograles Juan Fidel, Nolasco, Nunez Malañaon, Waminal, Olivares, Ong Jose, Ong Ronnie, Ortega, Uano Dizon, Pacquiao Alberto, Pacquiao Rogelio, Padiernos, Paduano, Palma, Pancho, Panotes, Peña, Pichay, Pimentel, Pineda, Plaza, Puno, Kimbo, Radaza, Ramirez Sato, Ramos, Remulla, Revilla, Reyes, Rivera, Robes, Rodriguez, Roman, Romero, Romualdez Ferdinand, Romualdez Yedamarie, Romualdo, Romulo, Roque, Sakdalan, Sagarbaria, Sakaluran, Salceda, Salimbangon, Salo, Sanchez, Sangcopan, Santos Recto, Sarmento, Saulug, Savillano, Xiao, Silverio, Singson, Singson Mihan, Sinsuat, Swansing Estrelita, Swansing Horacio, Suarez Aleta, Suarez David, Suntay, C. Alvarado, Taduran, Talyado, Tambunting, Tan Alisa, Tan Angelita, Tan Shamir, Tan Shari, Tan Tambut, Tejada, Teves Arnulfo, Teves Jose, Tianco, Tolentino, Torres Gomez, Tulfo, Tupas, Tutor, T. Alan, T. Diego, Umali Alfonso, Umali Maria Victoria, Unabia, Ungab, Uy Juliet, Uy Rolando, Valeriano, Valmayor, Vargas, Vargas Alfonso, Velasco, Veloso, Vergara, Villa, Villafuerte, Villanueva Brother Eddie, Villanueva Noel, Villar, Villarasa Suarez, Villarica, Yolago, Yap Eric, Yap Victor, Yu, Zamora Ronaldo, Zamora Waikorat, Zarate, Zubiri. Mr. Speaker, the roll call shows that 214 members responded to the call.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Lito Atienza.
With 214 members responding to the call, the chair declares the presence of a quorum.
Mr. Speaker, did we hear right 214?
Yes, 214.
We would like to again manifest that there is a discrepancy of 36 votes because our count is only 172. We have a quorum. So
Majority Leader?
why make up a number of 214? For what purpose? To orient us to dishonesty? To make up numbers where there are none? Why don't we announce that 172 on the floor, we have a quorum? So I'm again calling the attention of the Secretariat on this very bad habit of adding more members present where there is none. Thank you.
Majority Leader?
Mr. Speaker, I move that we resume the privilege hour. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Privilege hour is resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize the Honorable Ferdinand Gaite from the party list Bayan Muna for his privilege.
Honorable Ferdinand Gaite is recognized.
Maraming salamat po. Sa ating kagalang-galang na speaker, sa lahat ng ating kapita-pitaga, mga kasapi ng House of Representatives, isang magandang hapon. Tumindig kasama ang mga magsasaka, ng Samar. Ginoong Speaker, ang kagalang-galang na kinatawan, magandang hapon. Nitong nakaraang linggo, noong 11 hanggang 12 ng Nobyembre, nagtungo ang representasyong ito sa Las Navas, Northern Samar at nakiisa sa ginanap na fact-finding and mercy mission na inorganisa ng Stand with Samar Leyte Network, isang kalipunan ng iba't ibang organisasyong nagtataguyod sa karapatang pantao at kagalingan ng ating mga kababayan sa nabanggit na rehiyon. Sa pagtutulungan ng iba't ibang organisasyon at sa tulong din ng ilang kapwa mamabatas sa Samar at Leyte na aming taus-pusong pinasasalamatan, sina Representatives Ferdinand Martin Romualdez, Congresswoman Yeda Romualdez, at Congressman Jose Ong, tayo ay nakapagbigay ng paunang tulong sa ating mga kababayan. Sa 2 araw na ginanap na fact-finding and mercy mission, labis po akong nabahala sa mga isinalaysay ng ating mga kababayang Las Navas noon. Hindi lamang nila idinaraing ang pagbagsak ng kanilang kabuhayan dulot ng nagdaang tagtuyot at pananalanta ng mga peste, idinaraing rin nila ang tumitinding militarisasyon at ang kaugnay nitong malawakang paglabag sa kanilang karapatang pantao. Sa Eastern Visayas, ang industriya ng kopra, ang pinakamalaking subsektor ng agrikultura, tinatayang humigit kumulang 70% ng mga magsasaka sa naturang rehiyon ay nabubuhay sa industriyang ito. Itong 70% ito ang ating mga kababayang magsasaka sa rehiyong binabatbat ngayon ng krisis. Literal na sayad sa lupa ang presyo ng kanilang produktong kopra. Ayon sa mga magsasaka, umabot ang pinakamababang presyo nito sa napakalit na lamang na 5 piso kada kilo. Sa buwan ito ng Nobyembre, ang regional average buying price ng kopra ay umabot lamang ng 10 piso kada kilo, na ibayong napakalayo sa halaga nitong nakaraang taon na umabot ng 35 piso kada kilo. Nangangambang ating mga magsasaka na tuluyang pangbabagsak ang presyo ng kopra sa harap ng patuloy na paglawak naman ng industriya ng palm oil sa naturang rehiyon. Isa pang pangunahing produkto ng mga las na basnon ay ang abaka. Pangalawa nga ang Northern Samar sa may pinakamalaking produksyon ng abaka sa bansa at nagluluwal ng humigit kumulang 3,000 metrikong tonelada ng nabanggit na produkto. Ngunit, kagaya ng industriya ng kopra, ito rin ay nanganganib. Pinepeste ng mahigit 1 taon na ng tinatawag na Banshee top virus ang mga abaka na nakakaapekto sa kalidad at dami ng abaka fiber. Balita ng mga kababayan nating magsasaka na bumabagsak ang kanilang average yield mula 200 kilograms patungo sa 20 kilograms sa lamang simula nung kumalat ang naturang virus. May ilang lugar din na tuluyan ng walang abakang nabubuhay. Pinipeste rin ang kanilang palayan ng bacterial leaf blight pest na lumalanta sa mga kanilang mga tanim bago pa man ito maging handa sa pag-ani. Kaunti na nga ang naani, mababa pa ang kita dahil sa pagbagsak ng presyo ng palay. Dahil sa mga nabanggit, talagang bagsak ang kabuhayan ng ating mga kababayan magsasaka. Subalit, hindi lamang peste, natural na kalamidad at tagtuyot ang sanhi ng kanilang pagdurusa. Kasabay ng pang-ekonomiyang unos, ay dumaranas rin sila ng unos ng militarisasyon. Matapos ilabas ng Malacanang ang Memorandum Order No. 32 na nagbibigay daan sa pagdaragdag ng puwersa ng pulis at militar sa mga probinsya ng Negros, Bicol at Samar, ay higit na lumala ang paglabag sa karapatang pantao sa mga nabanggit na probinsya. Sinasabi ng pamahalaan na ang kautosang ito ay kinakailangan upang supilin ang lawless violence. Subalit sa karanasan ng ating mga magsasaka, sa mga kagaya nila mga sibilyan, sa kanila nakatutok ang baril ng mga otoridad. At hindi lamang mga baril, maging ang mga bombay nakadirekta na rin sa kanila. Noong kaumagahan ng Oktubre 26, ay nagbagsak ng 3 500-pound bombs ang F-50 fighters ng 8th Infantry Division ng Philippine Army sa Barangay Capotoan, Las Navas. Ayon sa pahayag ng AFP, dinudurog daw nila sa pamamagitan ng surgical strike ang isang kampo ng New People's Army sa naturang barangay. Ngunit, ayon sa isang ginang na aming nakausap, walang kampo ng NPA sa lugar na humigit kumulang ay 10 metro lamang ang layo mula sa kanyang tahanan. Ayon sa kanya, ang binomba ay ang kanyang sakahan at munting taniman ng gulay. Ilang araw na nawala ang kanyang mga anak na kumaripas ng takbo dahil sa takot na ginawang pagbobomba. Mr. Speaker, 24 na pamilya ng Barangay Kapatuan ang binulabog ng surgical airstrike na ito ng araw na iyon. Silang lahat ay nagsilikas patungo sa mga karatig na barangay at hindi na makabalik sa kanilang mga lupaing sakahan. 2 araw matapos ang airstrike ay tinipo naman ng mga sundalo ang mga residente ng Barangay Sagod, ilang oras ang layo mula sa Barangay Kapatuan. Sa pagtitipong ito ay pilit na pinaamin ng mga residente na sila ay mga armadong gerilya. Marami pang salaysay sa paglabag sa karapatan ang aming narinig at naitala sa aming pagpunta sa Las Navas. Paghalughog sa mga tahanan, hamleting ng mga komunidad, paninira at pagkuha ng kagamitan, pananakot at pagbabanta. Ito ay lakas loob na ibinahagi sa amin ng ating mga kababayan magsasaka. At hinihiling rin nila sa inyo na sila'y pakinggan. Ginoong Speaker, mga kapwa ko kinatawan, hangarin natin na magkaroon ng kapayapaan at katahimikan sa ating bayan. Pero hindi ang katahimikan ng sementeryo, gaya ng nililika ng kampanyang kontra-insurhensya ng pamahalaang Duterte. Ang kapayapaang ating hangad ay dapat na abutin ay kapayapaang nakabatay sa husisyang panlipunan. Kapayapaang iniluluwal ng makabuluhang mga reforma. Kapayapaang nagbibigay ng pag-unlad sa buhay at kumikilala sa dignidad ng ordinaryong mamamayan. Mr. Speaker, walang kapayapaan kung mamayani ang takot sa ating mga komunidad. Kung hindi makatapak muli sa kanilang mga sakahan ang ating mga magsasaka dahil sa matinding takot na maging biktima ng mga nasa otoridad na dapat sanay nagtitiyak ng kanilang kaligtasan. Mga kapwa ko kinatawan, nanawagan ng ating mga kababayang magsasaka, tumindig tayo para sa kanila. Agad na tugunan ang krisis sa agrikultura. Tulong, hindi gera. Bigas, hindi bala. At lalo't higit, hindi bomba. Itigil ang paglabag sa karapatan ng mamamayan, kagyat na ipatigil ang Memo No. 32, pagbobomba at pandarahas sa mga komunidad. Stand with Samar and Leyte, stand with our farmers. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of the Honorable Gaite to the Committee on Rules. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Ferdinand Gaite is referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend the privilege hour. So moved, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. Privilege hour is hereby suspended. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of the certificate of nomination submitted by the LPGMA party list before the Commission on Elections, naming Alan U.T. as the second nominee of said party list. Mr. Speaker, in view of the untimely demise of Representative Rodolfo B. Albano of LPGMA party list, I move that we allow the Honorable Alan U.T. to take his oath in open session to assume the position vacated by the late Representative Albano.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The Secretary General is directed to call the representative of party list LPGMA to take his oath of office before this body.
The representative of LPG Marketers Association, LPGMA party list, the Honorable Alan T., is requested to proceed to the rostrum to take his oath. The family is also requested to join the Honorable T.
Our birthday girl.
The colleagues of Honorable T., the Region 2 block is also requested to proceed to the rostrum to join Honorable T in his oath-taking.
Andyan.
May we request all the members of the House of Representatives and all our guests in the galleries to please rise to witness the oath-taking of our new member. And may further request the Deputy Speaker for Party List, Deputy Speaker Conrado Estrella III, to administer the oath.
Or this one? You want to hold this instead? Okay. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, please state your name,
Alan T.
of
Kawayan City, Province of Sabela.
state your party list.
LPGMA party list.
Having been elected as
Having been elected as representative of LPGMA party list,
hereby solemnly swear
hereby solemnly swear
that I will well and faithfully discharge
that I will well and faithfully discharge
to the best of my ability
to the best of my ability
the duties of my present position
the duties of my present position
and of all others
and of all others
I may hereafter hold
I may hereafter hold
under the Republic of the Philippines.
under the Republic of the Philippines.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines.
That I will support and defend the Constitution of the Philippines.
That I will bear true faith
That I will bear true faith
and allegiance to the same.
and allegiance to the same.
And that I will obey the laws,
And that I will obey the laws,
legal orders,
legal orders,
and decrees promulgated
and decrees promulgated
by the duly constituted authorities
by the duly constituted authorities
of the Republic of the Philippines.
of the Republic of the Philippines.
And that I impose this obligation
And that I impose this obligation
upon myself voluntarily,
upon myself voluntarily,
without mental reservation
without mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Picture dito, Alan. Alan. Every right to have a picture here. Picture, tatay. Where are the... Okay. Ito, mas maganda daw. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, in order to allow our members to meet and extend their greetings to the Honorable Alan U.T. of LPGMA Party List, I move that we suspend our session for a few minutes.
Session suspended.
Open. Yes, open. Resumption. Wow. Bagay. Kinuha mo na? Okay. To resume. For another 1 hour. Nag-1 hour na eh. Diba? Nag-expire. Oh. Nakita ko, nag-expire kanina. Resume for another hour. May clock yung clock niya. Oo nga pala, hindi pa, ayaw pa palang 10 pala. Oo nga, hindi pa. Resume lang.
Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, we'd like to acknowledge the guests of the Honorable Edgar Chato, Erico Rostel Obientado, and Christine Alexi Tutor of the province of Bohol. They are the members of the Philippine League of Secretaries to the Sangguniang Bohol chapter, headed by their president, Mrs. Julita Lim, and accompanied by Christine Aguman, Gordel Mario Anabiesa, Annabel Anunciado, O'Neil Bero, Pantaleon Cadao, Nesifora Calamba, Gilbert Senebre, Alpios de Lima, Ardisa Astevilla, Marlene Iyo, Diosdado Jimenez, Julita Lim, Maria Makiling, Claudia Narisma, Bonifacio Paje, Gemma Piezas, Amy Raut, Frank Rom, Karen Rosco, Helen Sarmiento, Hilda Tan, Julie Tinaha, Edgar Villafuerte, Rosel Villas, Luisa Rom, Rafael Makiling, Carshega Yolanda, Marciano Ayuban, Brian Bulabos, Elias Bolaño, Richard Perez, Antonio Muring, Roel Carias, Cecil Balahay, Ruth Boy Banting, Victoriana de Lambaca, Richie Tongko, Nathaniel Pame, Al Kakilya, Katilin Balahay, Jonah Loya, and Leticia Pangilan.
To the guests of Honorable Edgar Chato, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Tony Pet Albano of the 1st District of Isabela for his manifestation.
Thank you.
Honorable Tony Pet Albano is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, I would like to thank the body for the condolences that we have had for the family in the passing of my late father, now Congressman Rudy Albano, LPGA party list representative. And as the Bible has said, there is a time for mourning and there's a time for celebration. Indeed, today, even if I am mourning, I am equally celebrating because I know for a fact that the next representative that took his oath right now Congressman Alan T., will surely be a beacon and light in this August chamber. Not only is he welcome in this August chamber, I know for a fact that he will do his duty, utmost duty, to uphold the principles of our body. And so with that, together with my family, we thank the Honorable Congressman T. for lending. As many of you know, the LPGMA party list was headed by the three-termer Arnel T. and the first nominee was my father when Arnel T. Has already finished his 3 terms, but the second nominee is Congressman Alan T. of today. And so on behalf of my family, we really thank Congressman Alan T. for giving strength and life to my deceased father. So again, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we resume the privilege hour.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved. The privilege hour is resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Edgar Chato of the 1st District of Bohol for his privileged speech.
Honorable Edgar Chato is recognized.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor. In 2018 survey, the Philippines ranked 3rd, just behind India and Pakistan, among countries most vulnerable to climate change. This year, in the Global Peace Index, reported released by Australia-based Institute for Economics and Peace, the Philippines is now first among the list of countries facing the highest risk of climate change hazards. The study finds that 47% of the country's population is in areas highly exposed to multiple climate hazards, such as earthquakes, tsunami, floods, tropical cyclones, and drought. Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues in this august chamber, I stand before you today on a matter of personal and collective privilege. As a member of this esteemed body, 9 years ago, from the year 2001 to 2009, as principal author of the Tourism Act of 2009, and as present chair of the House Committee on Climate Change. November is Climate Change Consciousness Month. This year, we celebrate the 12th Global Warming and Climate Change Consciousness Week from November 18 to 25 with the theme, Adapting for a Sustainable Future. Consequently, both Republic Acts 9593, or the Tourism Act of 2009, and Republic Act 9729, or the Climate Change Act of 2009, were passed in the same year, and both are celebrating their decade anniversary this year. This is significant because tourism is a major economic factor in the country, contributing 2.2 trillion or 12.7% of the total GDP and generating 5.4 million employment for the year 2018 alone. Sustaining tourism, which is highly dependent on our natural resources amidst the threat of climate change, is a challenge we all face now. During my second and third terms in the 13th and 14th Congresses, I chaired the House Committee on Tourism. Our aim goal, the passage of a law that will lay the national tourism framework in the country. Working for the passage of the law way back then was not easy. It took us 5 years to convince all stakeholders of the importance of a national framework on tourism. Republic Act 9593, or the Tourism Act, hence, paved the way, among many others, for the formulation of the National Tourism Development Plan, major reorganization of the Department of Tourism, including its attached agencies, due recognition of the private sector, and the creation of the convergence program of relevant agencies of government and on tourism infrastructure. As a result, we now have 12 international gateways. Ports are further being developed, tourism destinations are continuously being improved, and many of our tourism highways have either been constructed or rehabilitated. Republic Act 9729, or the Climate Change Act of 2009, on the other hand, created the Climate Change Commission as the principal climate policy-making body of the government. According to the National Framework Strategy on Climate Change for 2010 to 2022, was formulated and translated to National Climate Change Action Plan of 2011 to 2028, which sets the directional plan for the government in implementing short, medium, and long-term actions in 7 thematic areas: food security, water sufficiency, ecological and environmental stability, human security, climate-smart industries and services, sustainable energy, and knowledge and capacity development. Upon coming back as legislator for the 18th Congress and having finished my 3 terms as governor of the province of Bohol, I accepted the chairmanship of the Committee on Climate Change. It is an advocacy close to heart and is intimately related to almost everything I can commit myself to as a public servant: environment, agriculture, food security, health, tourism. The big challenge is Herculean, to say the least. But I know, Honorable Speaker, my dear colleagues, that I have this august chamber as partners in this fight against the adverse effects of climate change. According to the DOST Pag-asa, the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change has set out 2 central approaches in dealing with climate change. The first is to address the root cause by reducing greenhouse gas emissions from human activity, while the second is to manage its impacts. According to the Climate Change Commission, while the Philippines contribute next to nothing to climate change problem in terms of greenhouse gas emissions, yet we suffer the brunt. Nevertheless, we are making a stand because we believe that a resilient, low-carbon future is the only pathway that will secure inclusive, enduring development for all. There is no excuse for inaction. It is our moral and intergenerational responsibility to build the capacities of our communities to these impacts and to greater steps to protect our oceans. On March last year, His Excellency President Rodrigo R. Duterte signed the landmark Paris Agreement on Climate Change that calls for the reduction of carbon emissions, which have been linked to the occurrence of natural disasters and extreme weather conditions. 2 months ago, youths across the globe joined in protest to call on world leaders to respond decisively on the climate emergency with climate justice. Greta Thunberg, teen environmentalist and activist, and face of global climate strike efforts, has been making waves in exacting accountability and creating awareness. The Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change recommends for the Philippines to listen to the science in its report and push for more integration of climate actions that will go beyond the time frame of their political positions. The government should really push for more ambitious targets in terms of adaptation and mitigation, because adaptation is not enough. The ecosystem-based adaptation should be in conjunction or reduction of emissions. Fiercer storms and drier droughts is how they describe the effects of climate change in the country. And as we stand here, we are not surprised. We had typhoons, Ondoy and Yolanda. In Bohol, a state of calamity was declared recently due to the drought in the farmlands. Indeed, climate change is the new normal. Focusing on tourism alone, we cannot deny the value of tourism for the country. Our major asset are natural resources. But travel in general contribute to carbon footprints. Unregulated practices of the tourism sector and tourism activities have an adverse effect on our natural resources. Unless we mainstream sustainable tourism, we fail our natural resources. We fail the next generation. According to the World Tourism Organization, sustainable tourism is tourism that takes full account of its current and future economic, social, and environmental impacts, addressing the needs of visitors, the industry, the environment, and the host communities. Hence, Mr. Speaker, Your Honor, adaptation and mitigation advocacies must be made part of tourism promotions. There are rather thousands and one ways to do that, from economic or eco-friendly designs of buildings and facilities, cleanliness and sanitation, ecotourism practices and activities, conservation efforts to tree planting in tourism sites. The possibility is vast. Sustainable tourism should also maintain a high level of tourist satisfaction and ensure a meaningful experience to the tourist, raising their awareness about sustainability issues and promoting sustainable tourism practices amongst them. It has been said that climate change is irreversible, but it is not unstoppable. The Philippines' vulnerability to the adverse effects of climate change gives us no excuse to be complacent in our mandate. We have a lot to do. First on the list is the strengthening of the functional and organizational structure of the Climate Change Commission. We need to advocate for research, for development of technical experts, for the empowerment of LGUs and communities, and for the implementation down to the household level. We need to strengthen the whole of government approach in climate change. We need to replicate best practices. In Bohol, for example, we were among the first provinces in the country which approved an ordinance declaring our strong stand for a no-coal policy. Finally, political leaders, including members of Congress, carry a lot of influence in our respective constituencies. Being strong advocates on climate change adaptation and mitigation, both in policy development and in actual day-to-day living, can make a big difference in developing a resilient community. It should start in us as leaders and as members of our respective communities. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Your Honor, daghang salamat.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the privileged speech of the Honorable Chato to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Edgar Chato is hereby referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize the Honorable Sarah Jane Elago of the Party List Kabataan for her privileged speech.
Honorable Sarah Jane Ilago is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, I'd like to greet everyone a hopeful and love-filled International Children's Day on the occasion of the 30th anniversary of the signing of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, or UNCRC, a human rights treaty which sets out the civil, political, economic, social, health, and cultural rights of children. Kaninang umaga lang ho, nanggaling ang representasyon na ito sa isang pagdiriwang dito sa may Sunken Garden sa UP Diliman, kung saan nagsama-sama ang mga estudyante mula sa iba't ibang mga paaralan upang magkaroon ng isang makabuluhan na pagkakaisa sa pamamagitan ng mga laro, ng mga pagtatanghal, ng mga quizzes, at maipakita na sila na mismo ang naghahangad na ang mga karapatan na nakalagay sa UNCRC ay kanilang makakamit at magagamit nila upang maipagtanggol ang karapatan pa ng iba. Then, Mr. Speaker, let me now proceed to sharing the unity statement made by various youth and student organizations in response to the statements of the National Youth Commission and the Department of Interior and Local Government to their celebration of the first National Students' Day observed on November 17. The statement reads, "We, student and youth formations, are gravely alarmed over the attempts of a few government agencies to malign the first National Students' Day Youth Camp, a two-day activity which is in line with the celebration of the International Students' Day in the Philippines. Enacted into law on August 8 of this very year, Mr. Speaker, Republic Act 11369 recognizes November 17 as National Students' Day. This law, co-authored by Kabataan Party List here in the House of Representatives, aims to recognize the invaluable contribution of student activism to Philippine democracy. The law even encourages support for exercises and activities launched by students during the observance of National Students' Day, which is in Section 4 of the said law. With this, we are disappointed at the NYC and the DILG for trying to discredit activities launched by students and youth. That the NYC has an event to be held on November 16 about drug addiction should not hinder the NYC from supporting other activities so that more students and young people can participate in the celebration and address many youth-related issues aside from drugs, such as democratic rights in schools, discrimination based on SOGI, education, health and sexuality, science and technology, good governance, climate justice, national sovereignty, among others. Moreover, Mr. Speaker, we slammed the DILG for insinuating that the event will be used by quote-unquote, communist-led front organizations for their own agenda. This is an insult to all the youth formations that are working together to conduct this activity. If this continues, we fear that the time will come when student-led activities will have to undergo similar scrutiny and be maliciously tagged instead of getting endorsement and support from duly mandated agencies. We would like to remind our government officials who made those statements that the International Students' Day was spearheaded by the International Student Councils themselves in 1941 to commemorate the killing of 9 student leaders in Prague and closing of all Czech universities and colleges in 1939 after student protests were held that year to denounce the fascist Nazi regime. Now that our schools are under the same threats of campus militarization and crippling of academic freedom, and while we live in times of intensified crackdown among the Filipino youth and students who are exercising their civil and political rights to assert for a better life and a better future, it is high time that we support all efforts in celebrating the National Students' Day, not only on November 17, the whole month of November, or even in any day that the students deem appropriate in their schools and in their communities, to identify and fulfill the role of young Filipinos today in nation building. The coordinated attacks by the said government agencies on the youth camp give us more reasons to come together and forge stronger unities to advance the welfare of students, youth, and the Filipino people. Nagpapasalamat po ako, Mr. Speaker, dahil sa kabila po ng mga naturang statements laban sa pagsasagawa ng #YouthPower 2-day youth camp sa selebrasyon ng National Students' Day, naging matagumpay ang event na ito, nadaluhan ng halos 300 ng mga student leaders mula sa iba't ibang mga pamantasan at kolehiyo. At narito po ang ilan sa mga litrato nung naturang event. Marami pong mga nagpunta na mga tagapagsalita mula sa iba't ibang civil society organizations. Meron din po tayong mga nagsalita tungkol sa mga karapatan ng mga estudyante mula mismo sa Commission on Human Rights. We had a guest from the PLCPD na nagsalita naman po tungkol sa kanilang mga efforts sa pagkukurb ng teenage pregnancy at pag-address ng mga issues na may kinalaman sa pangkabuang kalusugan ng mga bata at ng mga kababaihan. Nariyan din po ang mga challenges. Nag-discuss ng mga challenges pagdating sa pagpapatupad ng reproductive health. Nagbigay rin po ng updates pagdating sa pagbibigay ng age-appropriate sexuality education sa ating mga pamantasan. Gayon din, we had the likes of Dean Attorney Tony Lavinia, who gave a talk on the updates on climate negotiations and yung actions po ng Pilipinas pagdating sa pandaigdigan ngayon na panawagan ng mga bata at ng kabataan na magkaroon ng konkretong aksyon, hindi lang sa salita, kundi maging sa gawa, sa pagtatanggol ng ating kalikasan at pag-respond sa krisis na pangklima. In fact, Mr. Speaker, marami po tayong mga kasamahan dito sa House of Representatives ang nagsabi na sila ay handang-handa na makipagtulungan pagdating sa pag-aaral pa ng siyensya, ng agham na nasa likod ng kung paano natin pa mabibigyan ng makabuluhan na aksyon ang climate emergency. Gayon din, Mr. Speaker, ako po ay pinakanagagalak, bagamat hindi po ako nakadalo dun sa kabuuan ng 2 araw, nadaluhan ko po ang kanilang resolution building, kung saan ang mga nag-attend na mga estudyante, mga student leaders, mga head ng kanilang mga organizations, sila po ay nagkaroon ng mga breakout sessions kung saan sila ay gumawa ng mga resolusyon na nais nilang maipabatid sa atin at maipaabot sa mga miyembro ng kapulungan na ito. Ang ilan po dyan ay may kinalaman sa proteksyon ng ating indigenous peoples and cultural communities. Nariyan din po ang hinggil sa mga agricultural workers at mga farmers. Ito po ang ilan dun sa mga nasulat nilang resolusyon. At inaayayahan ko po ang mga legislative staff, ang mga opisina ng ating mga kasamahan na tulungan po nating pinuhin yung esensya ng kanilang mga panawagan. Ang ilan po dyan ay ang pagtatanggol sa karapatan ng mga indigenous people para po sa sariling pagpapasya. Nariyan din ang paglaban dun sa tinatawag nilang development aggression na sila naman po ay suporta sa pag-unlad ng kanilang pamayanan. Ngunit nararapat din na kilalanin ang kanilang mga karapatan. Gayon din ang karapatan ng ating mga kababayan na katutubo sa kalidad at abot kaya na edukasyon. Gayon din, Mr. Speaker, pagdating naman po sa usapin na pang-agrikultura, sila po ay nananawagan kung maaaring magkaroon ba ng caravan sa kanilang mga eskwelahan tungkol sa mga efforts ng kapulungan na ito na may kinalaman sa agriculture, food security at agrarian reform. Pagdating naman po sa health and sexuality, sila po ay nagtatanong kung kamusta na ba ang pagpapatupad ng bagong pasa nating batas na mas pinalakas na HIV/AIDS policy sa buong bansa. At kung paano ba nila magagamit yung kanilang mga proyekto at programa sa eskwelahan para makatulong sa pagpapalakas ng implementasyon ng nasabing batas. Pagdating naman po sa mandatory ROTC, sila po ay nananawagan na kung maaari, ma-review na muna natin ang National Service Training Program. Gayon din ang kasalukuyang kalagayan ng ating mga senior high school sa K-12. Pagdating naman po sa mga maralita dito po sa lungsod ay yung pagtulong po sa kanilang kampanya na magbuo ng development plans na on-site or in-city na hindi po sila aalis sa lugar na kung saan sila may kabuhayan o kung hindi talaga natin maiiwasan na sila ay lilipat ng lokasyon, dapat po ay may tiyak na kasiguraduhan sa trabaho, gayon din po sa kabuhayan. Pagdating naman sa press freedom, may isang resolusyon na nananawagan na dapat tayong mag-promote ng editorial independence ng ating mga campus press. At yung mga advisors po nila na ina-assign po yan sa ating mga campus press, yung guidance po nila ay pang-technical. Ngunit hindi dapat sila nariyan para i-censor yung mga sinusulat ng ating mga mamahayag pang-campus. At panghuli at napaka-importante po sa atin, ang isang resolusyon na may kinalaman sa mabuting pamamahala. Marami po sa mga nagpunta doon sa National Students Day Camp ay mga nagnanais maging susunod na mga mambabatas dito sa House of Representatives, susunod na senador, susunod na mayor, maski susunod na Pangulo ng Pilipinas. At nagnanais po sila na atin ng mapalakas yung sistema ng ating hustisya, ang pag-iral ng batas na napakahalaga po para sa mabuting pamamahala sa ating lokal at sa pambansang antas. Nariyan po ang kanilang mga resolusyon at ang representasyon na ito mula sa kabataan ay nagagalak at talagang hindi na makapaghintay na mabigyan kayong lahat ng mga kopya ng resolusyon na ito at naway lahat din po ay madinig natin dito sa loob ng Batasang Pambansa. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Again, mabuhay po ang lahat ng mga child rights defenders na nagdiriwang ngayong araw. Hindi pa tapos ang ating laban. At gayon din sa lahat ng mga nag-celebrate sa buong bansa ng National Students Day. Una ko po itong na-celebrate noong 2014 bilang tagapangulo ng National Union of Students of the Philippines. Matagal na po yung sineselebrate dito sa Pilipinas at inaasahan po natin na yan ay ating ipapamana pa sa mga susunod na henerasyon. Maraming salamat, Mr. Speaker. Maraming salamat sa lahat. Happy National Students Day. Happy International Students Day.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we terminate the privilege hour. Mr. Speaker, I move that we refer the speech of Honorable Sara Jane Ilago to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Sarah Jane Ilago is referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we terminate the privilege hour.
is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The privilege hour is hereby terminated. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we include additional co-authors for House Bill numbers 5421, 5437, 5477, 5490, and 5491 as contained in the list to be submitted by the Committee on Rules. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider bills under the calendar of business for Thursday and Friday. Mr. Speaker, pursuant to our rules, allow me to put forth the omnibus motion for the consideration of the following. House Bill number 5421 under the Committee Report number 74. House Bill number 5490 under the Committee Report number 77.
is there any objection? There being none, the Chair hears none, motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we consider the respective explanatory notes as the sponsorship of the said measures.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none, motion is approved.
Ito na. Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpellate on the said local bills, I move that we terminate the period of interpellation.
Is there any objection? There being none, Chair hears none, motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments and approve the committee amendments, if any, as contained in the respective committee report of the aforementioned bills.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none, motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none, motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading the following House bills: House Bill 5421 and House Bill 5490. House Bill 5421. Sorry.
Those in favor say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 5421 is hereby and 5490 is hereby approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we vote on second reading the following House bills: House Bill 5490.
Those in favor say aye.
Could the Secretary General be directed to read the title of the bill? 5490.
Ano ang second reading? Sabi niya second. Oh, sabi niya voted. Is there any objection? There being none, the Chair hears none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
Gawin ka na. House Bill number 5490, an act renewing for another 25 years the franchise granted to Bicol Broadcasting Systems, Incorporated under Republic Act number 8092, entitled an act granting the Bicol Broadcasting Systems, Incorporated a franchise to establish, operate, maintain commercial radio and television broadcasting station in Region 5.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of sponsorship and debate and recognize
Is there any objection? Chair is none. Motion is approved. Majority Leader.
I move that we recognize the Honorable Fortuno for her sponsorship.
Honorable Fortuno is hereby recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the explanatory note of House Bill 5490 be inserted
to the records as my sponsorship speech.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, there being no member who wishes to interpolate on the said local bills, I move that we terminate the period of interpellation.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open the period of amendments and approve.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
I move that we open the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, there being no individual or committee amendments, I move that we terminate the period of amendments.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, I move for the approval on second reading, House Bill number 5490.
All those in favor, say aye. Those against, say nay. The ayes have it. House Bill 5490 is hereby approved on second reading.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move to reopen the privilege hour.
Is there any objection? The chair is none. Motion approved. The privilege hour is hereby resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move to recognize Honorable Edgar Mary Sarmiento for his privileged speech.
Honorable Edgar Mary Sarmiento is hereby recognized.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, Majority Leader. Magandang gabi po sa ating lahat. Papasalamat po at binuksan uli ang privilege hour. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, good evening. I rise in a matter of personal and privilege and collective privilege. First of all, Mr. Speaker, I would like to thank PDEA, the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, and the Philippine National Police for a job well done. Lalo't lalo na po sa PNP, hindi naman po negative lahat. Last October 17, 2019, 87.83 kilos of methamphetamine hydrochloride or Shabu, amounting to almost 600 million, were intercepted during an operation of the Philippine National Police, Regional Provincial Drug Enforcement Unit of Region 8, the Philippine National Police Samar Police Provincial Office, one locality, Gandara Municipal Police Station, and PDEA Samar Provincial Office in Gandara, Samar. The first district of Samar, which resulted to the apprehension of 6 suspects, including a 14-year-old boy and a pregnant woman, who are all residents of the province of Cebu and Cavite. Based on the intelligence report from the Police and Drug Enforcement Unit and the interviews of the apprehending officers, the drugs seized were sourced in Luzon and were for delivery to a buyer in Cebu. It is accessed right now, Mr. Speaker, along the Nautical Highway. On this case, specifically the Eastern Seaboard or the Eastern Nautical Highway as a transit connection. It was indeed a successful anti-illegal drugs operation. However, it is sad to say that this success story of our operatives was turned no less than by a fellow member of this House of Representatives into an opportunity to unduly malign and defame the First District of Samar. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a poor use of politics. The reason this country is not moving forward. I received a copy of this information, and it is in my position that accusation has been thrown, sad to say, to a media outlet, giving them false information. I wanted to present these on the screen, but I was advised not to. First accusation, Mr. Speaker, that the drugs apprehended last October 17 came from Calbayog City. And second, that the drugs allegedly are rampant in the First District of Samar, particularly the city of Calbayog. Mr. Speaker, I don't know what's happening to our system, but clearly I have presentations to make. And I think that is on the other part of the screen. Ayan po, kitang-kita po ang ebidensya. Ang drugs na nahuli sa Samar. Mr. Speaker, ako po ay naging Vice Chairperson on the House Committee on Dangerous Drugs noong 17th Congress. At ako po ay naging miyembro ng ASEAN Inter-Parliamentary Assembly o AIPA Fact-Finding Committee, IFOCOM, to combat the drug menace last 2017. And Mr. Speaker, it has been my policy consistently to closely monitor PIDEA and the Philippine National Police to make sure that the First District of Samar, if possible, the entire province of Samar, if warranted, Mr. Speaker, the entire island of Samar to be drug-free. It is so sad that this incident is being used as a political tool. Huwag naman po natin, Mr. Speaker, apakan ang ibang distrito na ginagawa ang lahat upang labanan ang illegal na droga. Mr. Speaker, I just want everybody to know on what kind of accusation is being made if the leaders of the First District of Samar wants to do something for the betterment of our constituents. The Calbayog City of Samar, this is a first-class city in Region 8. Nakikita po natin. Andiyan po sa screen. It serves as the commercial, industrial, and fishing center of the entire province of Samar. It is currently, I just want this to be put on record, one of the tigers among the urban centers of Region 8. Based on the 2017 annual financial report for the local government released by the Department of Finance last November 2018, its asset totaled approximately 2.51 billion pesos, make it the third richest city of Region 8. Mr. Speaker, Calbayog City also ranks number 1 amongst the 7 cities in Eastern Visayas with the highest resiliency competitiveness index in the region. This index, of course, Mr. Speaker, is the capacity of the locality to facilitate businesses and industries to create jobs, raise productivity, and increase the income of its citizens. With this development, it goes to show the relevance, Mr. Speaker, that the leaders of the First District of Samar particularly the city of Galbayog, are serious in their mission to improve the lives of all Samaritans and to put a stop into the proliferation of illegal drugs. That's why, Mr. Speaker, I am so shocked by these accusations. Mr. Speaker, I just again want to put this on record that these are all false. Mr. Speaker, clearly, as a member of the legislative branch of government and the judicial branch of government, whatever it is, Mr. Speaker, documentary evidences will always outweigh fabricated allegations. Case in point, Mr. Speaker, on the first accusation that drugs came from the city of Calbayog, this is outrageously false. To prove my point, Mr. Speaker, kitang-kita naman po ang sinasabi ng former director ng Region 8 na si General Carlos in his press briefing na ang drugs po ay nanggaling sa Luzon, specifically sa Cavite, noong October 15, papunta po ng Cebu. Ayan po, kitang-kita po ang sinasabi. Furthermore, the personalities arrested during the operation, ayan po, makikita po natin, sinasabi po dyan, lahat. Now, the personalities, Mr. Speaker, that were apprehended, not one single individual is from the city of Calbayog. Yan po ay galing lahat sa Cebu. On the second accusation, Mr. Speaker, that illegal drugs are rampant in the first district of Samar, particularly Calbayog City. Again, Mr. Speaker, this is totally false. Ever since I was called into office and became a public servant, Mr. Speaker, I have always supported our government's war on drugs. Again, ulitin ko po, 17th Congress, nagtatrabaho na po tayo against sa illegal drugs. Kung titingnan po ninyo, City of Calbayog, highly affected po, 0. Tingnan niyo po. And this is on record, Mr. Speaker. These are properly documented. I can bring the record at any given time, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, nasasaktan po ako. This is one thing I'm hoping that us, members of the House of Representatives, should respect our own districts. Huwag po tayo makialam sa ibang distrito. Lalo't-lalo na, tingnan niyo po muna ang distrito ninyo bago po ninyo puntahan ang distrito ko. Mr. Speaker, tingnan niyo lang ginawa ko. Ngayon po, nakikita natin na ang drogas na nanggagaling sa Luzon, dinadala po sa Cebu, dinadala sa Mindanao. Saan dinadala? Sa nautical highways po natin. Ano po ang ginawa ng inyong public servant na nanggaling sa Samar? Ako po ay Vice Chair ng Dangerous Drugs Committee ng House. Tingnan niyo po, sinulatan po natin ang Philippine Coast Guard at Philippine Ports Authority, requesting them to impose, yan po, on record, stricter measures in all our ports as is putting mandatory checkpoints in order to prevent the movement of illegal drugs across provinces throughout all our nautical highways. Mr. Speaker, I speak today to plead and remind all House members to practice, Mr. Speaker, practice the standard of ethics, the unwritten rule that is expected of us. Let us not resort to these dirty tricks, Mr. Speaker. Let us not attempt to bring one's personality down. Rather, I just want to put this on record. Whatever wrong should be properly recorded as wrong, and whatever is right should be correspondingly be given the admiration they truly deserve. Nangyari na po sa atin ito, Mr. Speaker. Babalikan po natin ang nangyari sa Philippine National Police, kung saan ang ginawa po ng Ninja Cops, ayan na po ang nangyari. Hanggang ngayon, wala pa po tayong chief ng Philippine National Police. Mr. Speaker, to end my privileged speech and this representation from the First District of Samar, is very thankful to the Majority Leader, to the Speaker, for giving me again, opening again the privilege hours. Here in the House of Representatives, my dear colleagues, let us work together. Let us maintain the high rating we achieved to the Speaker of the House. Let us work together to protect this institution, the House of Representatives, the House of the People. Bigyan po natin ng pagkakataon. Magtulungan po. Dalhin po natin ang Republika ng Pilipinas sa kabutihan, huwag sa kasamaan. I end, Mr. Speaker, once again, maraming salamat po sa ating lahat. Thank you. Good evening, everyone.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the privileged speech of Honorable Sarmiento be referred to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The Chair hears none. Motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Edgar Mary Sarmiento is referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Honorable Arlene Brosas of the Gabriela Party List be recognized for her privileged speech. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Arlene Brosas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, fellow members of the House of Representatives, and dearest guests, a pleasant afternoon. November 20, 1959, leaders from different parts of the world gathered and adopted the Declaration of the Rights of the Child at the United Nations General Assembly. November 20, 1989, the Convention on the Rights of the Child, or the UNCRC, was also adopted by the same organ. Hence, today is a very special day as we celebrate the Universal Children's Day and the 30th anniversary of the UNCRC. Lahat tayo ay minsang dumaan sa pagkabata. Kung kaya't hayaan niyo akong batiin ang lahat ng narito sa kapitapitagang kapulungang ito ng Happy Children's Day. Ginoong Speaker, bagamat dapat tayong magsaya ngayong araw, nararapat din tayong mabahala sa magiging kinabukasan ng mga bata sa kasalukuyan. Nandiyan ang banta ng pagsasabatas ng pagpapababa ng Minimum Age of Criminal Responsibility o MACR. Gagawing kriminal ang mga bata imbis na ituring na biktima at lapatan ng naaangkop na rehabilitasyon at serbisyong pinagkait sa kanila ng lipunan. Kabi-kabila ang militarisasyon sa kanayunan na naghahasik ng takot sa murang isipan ng mga bata. Ang mga paaralang naipundar ng mga katutubo para sa kanilang mga anak ay sinira at pinagbabantaang bobombahin. Maraming bilang din ng mga bata ang walang makain. Maraming bilang ng bata ang walang akses sa serbisyong pangkalusugan. Maraming bilang ng bata ang hindi nakakatamasa ng maayos na edukasyon. Maraming bilang ng bata ang nawalan ng magulang dahil sa war on drugs, na mas kilala sa tawag na oplantokhang. Maraming bilang ng mga batang umiiyak dahil kinulong ang mga magulang gamit ang mga peke o gawa-gawang kaso. Maraming bilang ng batang nawalan at mawawalan ng tirahan dahil sa sunod-sunod na demolisyon. Laganap din ang kaso ng pang-aabuso, tumitindi ang karahasan, sumisidhi ang kahirapan. One of the issues that has a detrimental effect to the lives of Filipino children is environmental destruction. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, despite the opposition of indigenous communities and environmental advocates, the administration is set to push through with the Kaliwa Dam project. Mr. Speaker and fellow members of this august chamber, this China-funded project puts the lives of the indigenous people, the local communities, and our country in perilous situation. The damage that this will cause poses threat to the future of our children. Labis na nababahala ang kinatawang ito sa pagpapaalis ng mga katutubong dumagat remontado sa kanilang lupang ninuno. Ang pagpapatayo ng dam na ito ay malaki ring banta sa pagkasira ng ekolohikal na balanse ng kapaligiran. Napakaraming species sa Sierra Madre ang maapektuhan. Tinatayang 424 na pamilya ang mapapaalis at 100,000 residente ang maaaring lumubog sa baha kung ipagpapatuloy ito. Dahil sa epekto nitong pagsira ng kalikasan at paglubog sa katubigan ng malaking ektarya ng kagubatan at kalupaan, lalo lang nitong dinadagdagan ang greenhouse gases tulad ng methane gas na siyang nakapagpapalala sa krisis sa klima o climate change. Despite this project being unlawful and harmful in many ways, the Department of Natural Resources issued an Environmental Compliance Certificate, or ECC, last October 11. Sa pamamagitan ng pagpasok ng kasunduang ito sa China at sa pagbibigay ng ECC, binenta na rin ng ating gobyerno sa kamay ng dayuhan ang haharaping bukas ng mga bata at kabataan ng susunod na henerasyon. Sabi ni Presidente Duterte, kamakailan lamang hinggil sa Kaliwa Dam, na my concern is the welfare, the greatest good for the greatest number. Ngunit kita sa napakalalang epekto nito sa mga bata, sa kalikasan, sa komunidad ng mga katutubo, at sa mamamayan mismo ng Pilipinas na hindi ito para sa greatest good for the greatest number. Ginoong Speaker, ginagamit ang issue ng water crisis daw upang bigyang katwiran ng proyektong ito, upang bigyang katwiran ng pangungutang ng Pilipinas sa dayuhang bansa na siyang magbibigay pasakit sa susunod na henerasyon. Ito ay bahagi di umano ng mga proyektong pangkaunlaran. Ngunit kaunlaran para kanino? Nais bigyang diin ng kinatawang ito na kung magpapatuloy ang mga ganitong polisiya, ilulubog lamang nito ang susunod na salinlahi, ilulubog sa baha, bunga ng pagkasira ng kalikasan, at ilulubog sa utang, bunsod ng mga proyektong pagkakakitaan lamang ng iilan. Tutulan natin ang mga proyektong magdudulot ng pagkasira ng kalikasan. Dahil ang pagkasira ng kalikasan ay pagkasira din ng kinabukasan ng ating mga anak. Magkaisa tayo para hawanin ang daan tungo sa magandang bukas ng mga bata at ng susunod na salinlahi. Maraming salamat po. Muli magandang hapon at maligayang araw ng mga bata sa inyong lahat. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the privileged speech of Honorable Arlene Brosas be referred to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Arlene Brosas is hereby referred to the Committee on Rules. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Honorable Don Gonzales of Pangasinan for his privileged speech. For his privileged speech. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Aurelio Dong Gonzales of Pampanga is hereby recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Debonair, Deputy Speaker and Presiding Officer. To our Majority Leader, Martin Romualdez, to my dear colleagues, magandang hapon po sa ating lahat. Tumayo po ako dahil I am monitoring the farmers in my district, in the 3rd District of Pampanga, from June, July, August, September, October, and the harvest time is last week of October. Alam niyo po, yung aking kapwa magsasaka, kawawa po sila. Nag-invest po sila, namuhunan po sila ng 13 pesos per kilo sa palay. Sad to say, nabenta lang po yung palay nila at 9 pesos per kilo with the moisture content of 40%. Meaning to say, hindi pa tuyong-tuyo yung palay, kaya kinuha nila ng lower than 13 pesos. So meaning to say, my fellow farmers are negative 4 pesos per kilo. In our district, we have, I think, 6,000 farmers and 4,000 hectares of land, of agricultural land. Kawawa po, during harvest time and during irrigating time, I am monitoring them. Talagang umiiyak sila sa hirap kasi wala silang mapagkuhanan ng pera. Some farmers went to the other lending company to borrow a 2,000 pesos, 1,000 pesos with an interest of 10% per month. So bali, 5-6 po yun, masyadong mataas yung interest. Kawawa po, yung anak nila nag-aaral, so buti na lang, nandyan yung mga kasama kong kongresista sa Pampanga na malaking tulong yung mga pinapaaral namin, yung kanilang mga anak. In our district, bawal po ang hindi nag-aaral. In our district, kung wala kang pambayad ng tuition fee, if you are in private school or in the government school, sabi ko sa kanila, kami na ang bahala. So yun ang pwede namin maitulong. Kahapon po, nagkaroon po ako ng consultative meeting between the Regional Director of Department of Agriculture, the Regional Director of Department of Agrarian Reform, and this CDA, the Cooperative Development Authority. Gumawa po ako ng proposal sa kanila ng maganda kasi gusto ko talagang matulungan. Kanina galing ako sa Pampanga, sa distrito ko, kausap ko na naman po yung mga group of farmers sa Mexico at sa Santa Ana. Papatulong po sila and they heard that Secretary William Dar will give a 15,000 pesos per farmer. What is the formula? Hindi po natin alam yung formula ng Secretary Dar kung paano niya i-distribute yung 15,000 per hectare, per farmer. Mr. Speaker, ganito kasi yan eh. Sa isang magsasaka, minsan mayroong landowner yan. Yung landowner, ipapatilt mo, ipapasaka mo sa isang farmer at ang resulta nun, kung nagka-profit kayo ng 15,000 per hectare, divided by 2 mo yun, that is equivalent to 7,500 per hectare. Yun ang kita ng bawat hektarya sa bawat lupa ng mga magsasaka. Ngayon, hindi po kumita, negative. So meaning to say, yung namuhunan, halimbawa sa isang hektarya, talo, hindi mo na pwedeng singilin yung advance ng farmer. Kasi nga, lugi. Nalugi kayo ng 5,000 per hectare, yung 5,000 nagamit na niya sa kanyang araw-araw ng panggastos, pangkain, pang-breakfast, pang-allowance sa mga bata, at iba pang gastusin ng mga farmer. So kawawa po sila. And I'm calling the attention of Secretary of Department of Agriculture, i-identify niya pong maayos kung paano yung 10 billion. As of now, we have 7 billion pesos na available as per the spokesperson of the Department of Agriculture. 7 billion and another 3 billion, they're looking for another 3 billion to distribute this 15,000 per farmer. Ang question, kung ikaw ay landowner at ikaw ay farmer, kanino mo ibibigay yung 15,000? Eh di dalawa yon. Kasi hindi ko po nakikitang effective yung gagawin ng Department of Agriculture. Ito po yung ginawa namin kahapon sa meeting. I propose na ano ang mga requirements ng bawat farmer. Kesa sa bigyan mo ng 15,000 per farmer, bigyan natin yan. Kung mayroon tayo, if we have a mantra, a build, build, build sa public works, kailangan mayroon din tayong mantra sa Department of Agriculture. Ano yung mantra na yon? We have this Modernization Act. Ano yun? Number 1, Department of Agriculture, isupply po natin ng equipment. Ano yung kailangan nila? 4x4 tractor. Yung 4x4 tractor na yun, nagkakahalaga lang po yun ng 1.5 million. Pangalawa, ang requirement ng bawat magsasaka ay mga seedlings. Yun, pwede nang ilibre yung hybrid ng mga tiga Department of Agriculture. Pangatlo, ang sinabi ko sa kanila, kakausapin ko si Secretary Dar at si Speaker na kung po pwede, bigyan natin sila ng subsidy. Subsidy sa fertilizer yung mga farmer. Kung halimbawa, 980 pesos per kaban yung abono, yung fertilizer, siguro bigyan natin ng 30% discount. Kung mayroon tayong pantawid gutom dito sa DSWD, kailangan bigyan din natin tulong itong mga kapatid nating magsasaka dito sa ating bansa. So give them subsidy o for the fertilizer, alimbawa, 980 per kaban, bigyan natin ng diskwento, malaking bagay na savings na ng isang farmer yon. Pangapat, itong kanilang sinasabing, kasi nga, sinabi ko kanina sa inyo, there is a 40% moisture content. You know why? Ang Public Works and Highways, bawal nang gamitin ng solar dryer as solar dryer yung mga bypass roads, yung mga national roads, yung mga provincial roads, yung mga barangay roads, bawal na po yan sa Public Works. We cannot use that roads para patuyuin natin yung palay. So, kailangan bigyan sila ng mechanical dryer. Magkano yung mechanical dryer? Yung mechanical dryer, as per my director, ang alaga ng isang mechanical dryer ay isang 1.7 million per unit. Sa aking distrito, I have 10 cooperatives. 2, meron akong ilang asosasyon. Pangatlo, meron yung tinatawag na personal na nagsasaka sa kanyang sariling kakayaan. So 3 po yan. 1, sa cooperative. 2, association. 3, the personal capacity to tilt their own land. Ngayon, kung bibigyan natin ng mechanical dryer yan at blower, palagay ko kung naibibenta nila yung palay nila ng 11 pesos per kilo. Ibenta mo yan sa NFA, pag tuyong-tuyo na yan, kukunin ng 20 pesos. 20 pesos per kilo ng NFA kasi fully dried na po yun. Tuyong-tuyo na yun. Pagbasa ang palay, hindi mo pwedeng ibenta ng mataas. Sigurado ko, ang presyo niyan hindi lalayo sa 9 pesos hanggang 11 pesos. Yun, Mr. Speaker, kaya ako tumayo. Ngayon, yung iba pang requirements nila, pagkatapos ng mechanical dryer, sprayer, so kailangan natin yan i-mill. yung tinatawag nilang yung palay, gagawin nating bigas, kailangan yan matulungan natin. Kasi kung wala silang ganon, dadalhin pa nila sa mga retailer, so mas lalong mahal yung uuwiin, yung magiging resulta ng kanilang harvest ng mga palay. So ito po, meron akong diagram sa inyo, Mr. Speaker. Ito ang kanyang title, Abias. You know Abias is? Abias is kanin. Abias is A. Ito pong A, ang sinasabi ng Abias is advance. Tawag dito. Malabo na mata ko ata, Mr. Speaker. To modernize the rice farming techniques of our farmers. So ito po ang proposed modern rice farming technique ng inyong abang lingkod, yung masigasig na mga farmers associations. 4x4 tractor. Number 2, pagkatapos mong binungkal yung lupa, magtatanim tayo, we need seedlings. Pangatlo, pag naitanim na natin yan, kailangan natin ng fertilizer. Pagkatapos nating tinanim yan, mangangailangan tayo ng irigasyon. At ang sinasabi ko sa kanila, na ihingi din tayo ng subsidy sa Department of Agriculture kahit magkakaroon lang tayo ng 10 pesos discount per liter sa diesel. Ang ginagamit po natin sa diesel kasi per litro, mahal po yan. Kaya kung mabibigyan natin ng subsidy ng 10 pesos per liter, ang ating magsasaka, malaking bagay po sa kanila yan. Makakatipid sila sa fertilizer, makakatipid sila sa diesel, makakatipid sila sa fertilizer, yung pong tatlong yun ang major requirement ng isang farmer. Ngayon, itong rice mill na to, kailangan po natin ipundar. Manggagaling sa Department of Agriculture, yung rice mill mechanical equipment para doon na lang kino-convert yung palay into rice. At yung circulating dryer, pangalawa, yung isang bodega na malaki. Yung mga kooperatiba kasi, they are requiring a warehouse. The cooperative required a warehouse para if you are 100 farmers, sa isang kooperatibang yon, kung mababa yung palay, may pera yung kooperatiba. Halimbawa, may 100 kaban ka, 100 times 50, that is 5,000 kilos. 5,000 kilos, times mo ng 9 pesos per kilo. So that is 45,000. Yung 45,000 na yun, ibibigay mo sa bodega nila, sa warehouse nila, o sige, Dong, bigyan mo muna ako ng 15,000. Ibubudega ko muna yung palay sa warehouse natin. Habang pinapatuyo natin yung palay, habang naghahanap tayo ng dryer, para tumaas naman yung presyo. Kesa sa bigay mo yung 9 pesos per kilo versus 20 pesos per kilo kung ibebenta mo yan sa NFA. Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, this is the time to help our farmer. Alam niyo po ang sinasabi nila, hindi na po kami nag-aral. Ginaganito pa rin kami. Kawawa naman po ang ating mga kapatid na magsasaka. That's why it's time to help my dear colleagues, Mr. Speaker, and invite on one of our hearing para maisiwalat natin yung problema ng farmers kay Secretary Dar. In summation of this, Mr. Speaker, in summation of this, ang sinabi kong 7 item sa inyo, kung bibigyan mo ng 15,000 per farmer, multiply mo ng 60,000, multiply mo times 6,000, that is equivalent to 60 million. 60 million versus bili tayo ng four-wheel tractor, bili tayo ng combine harvester with dryer, bili tayo ng rice mill, bili tayo ng hand tractor, bigyan natin ng subsidy ng diesel, bigyan natin subsidy sa fertilizer. Palagay ko po, it's equal. Pareho po yun. And that is a long-term situation. Yun po ang pwedeng makakagamot sa atin, sa ating kapwa magsasaka. Huwag po natin ibigay yung 15,000 sa mga farmer. Otherwise, bukas wala na yan. Bukas, pambibili na ng pamalengke, pambibigay na lang ng alawan sa mga ating mga estudyante. So ito po, inuulit ko, Mr. Speaker, my dear colleagues, abias. Abias. Abias is rice. In Kapampangan, kanin is abias. Ang ibig sabihin nito, advanced bio-infrastructure agricultural system priority project of Congressman Dong Gonzales in my district. So yun lang po, at least nagkaroon kayo ng ideya na talagang kawawang-kawawa yung ating mga kapatid na farmers. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Speaker, at takal pong salamat, maya pagkatpadapon po kay Kaikan.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the privilege speech of Honorable Dong Gonzales of Pampanga be referred to the Committee on Rules for appropriate action. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved. The privileged speech of Honorable Aurelio Dong Gonzales is referred to the Committee on Rules.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Honorable Benny Abante be recognized for his manifestation. So move, Mr. Speaker.
Minority Leader Benny Abante is recognized.
Mr. Speaker, I just would like to make a manifestation because I came in late in our two deliberations here because of my commitment to the committee hearings and other meetings I have to attend. So let me make a manifestation on my yes vote on the following House bill. House Bill 5437, an act extending the availability of the 2019 appropriations for maintenance and other operating expenses and capital outlays to December 31, 2020, amending for the purpose Section 65 of the General Provisions of the Public Act 11260, the General Operations Act of Fiscal Year 2019, House Bill 5477, an act establishing malasakit centers in all Department of Health, hospitals in the country, and the Philippine General Hospital, providing funds therefore and for other purposes, and House Bill 5306, an act separating the sitio of Ladol from Barangay Poblacion in the municipality of Alabel, province of Sarangani, and constituting it into a distinct, independent barangay to be known as Barangay Ladol. Mr. Speaker, my manifestation of my support to these three House bills. Thank you very much.
Duly noted. Minority Leader. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we close the privilege hour.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. The motion is approved. The privilege hour is hereby terminated. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, kindly acknowledge the presence of the guests of the Honorable Linda Bulilla, representative of the 4th District of Batangas. They are the barangay captains of the municipality of Rosario Province of Batangas, headed by ABC President Isagani La Rosa.
May we request the guest of Representative Linda Bulilla to please stand. Welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, kindly also acknowledge the guests of our Minority Leader, Benny Abante. They are the officers and barangay chairmen of asosasyon na nagkakaisang kapitan, anak ng Santa Mesa. Paulito Linis, Antoinette Lacap, Danilo Sanbueno, Cristina Lara, Maria Antoinette Paraiso, Alan Unarce, Renato Ebreo, Panfilo Laconico, Yuli Abellar, Catalino Tres Reyes Jr., Dingracio Nidoy, Virgilio Llamoso, Lito Erasquin, Emilet Quirante, Jose Milo Lacatan, Rogelio Hamito, Luisito Benaventura, Adoracion Andaya, Purificacion Go, Elmo Canino, Jose Palahurin, and also the officers of the senior citizen of Barangay 833 of Pandacan, Manila, led by President Aida Pasibigan, Vice President Lucy Reyes, Secretary Gloria Ferrer, Treasurer Tony Tan, PRO Lorna Gozarin, and other guests, Preacher Dan Lorenzo, Kagawad Orly Reyes, and Alma Tiongson, Mr. Speaker.
To the guests of Honorable Penny Abante, our Minority Leader, welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we open for consideration House Bill number 78 and direct the Secretary General to read the title of the measure.
Is there any objection? There being none, motion is approved. The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the bill.
House Bill 78, an act providing for the definition of public utility, further amending for the purpose Communal Act Number 146, otherwise known as the Public Service Act as amended.
Majority Leader.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we recognize Representative Lawrence Defensor for his interpellation.
Honorable Nonoy Defensor is recognized.
And we also recognize Representative Sharon Garin to defend the measure.
Honorable Sharon Garin, as the sponsor, is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I know if the good lady from Ambis Uwa is willing to answer questions from this representation?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, the definition of public utility as proposed under this bill has been a contentious issue. In fact, it has raised questions as to its constitutionality. However, while we have a long and extensive constitution, will the good sponsor agree with me that it was never the intent of the framers of our Constitution to have a rigid and inflexible Constitution?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
In fact, if we go over the deliberations of the Constitutional Commission, in particular, the deliberations on August 13, 1986, will the good sponsor agree with me that we can see that the framers of our Constitution were open to the idea of leaving it to Congress to determine certain areas of investments as well as particular aspects of franchises issued for public utilities to allow Congress to determine certain areas as well as certain parameters of public utilities and franchises.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. In fact, this has been done, and not only through Congress, but also the Supreme Court itself also has done this.
That's correct. Mr. Speaker, if we go over the deliberations of August 13, 1986, in particular, Volume 4 thereof, pages 262 and 266, we can see that the framers and the members of the Constitutional Convention are open to what? First, allowing Congress to determine certain areas of where foreign investments may enter into. Second, as I said earlier, the scope and parameters of franchises under public utilities. In particular, will the good sponsor agree with me that under page 262 of the deliberations, Honorable Commissioner Gascon said, and I quote, that we allow Congress to prescribe certain areas where foreign investments may enter into.
Yes, I agree, Mr. Speaker, and this has also been a statement reaffirmed by the Supreme Court as well, Mr. Speaker.
And so far as parameters and scope of public utilities and franchises, Commissioner Davide the future Chief Justice said that we should allow Congress to determine the scope and extent of certain public utilities and franchises issued thereon. And secondly, Commissioner Bernardo Villegas also stated under the deliberations that we should allow Congress to determine, because there are so many different conditions in public utilities that we cannot determine at the time when they were drafting the Constitution. Is that correct, Madam Sponsor?
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Madam Sponsor, can you tell us the state of our telecommunications industry insofar as our ranking in terms of internet speed, which is so essential to the economic progress of our country?
Mr. Speaker, the text and call are the most expensive, and the broadband is the slowest, Mr. Speaker. So we have one of the worst in service, but also the most expensive.
That is correct. Mr. Speaker, out of the 15 countries in the Asia-Pacific region, we are the slowest in terms of internet service, which is so essential to progress, to business, and to industry. Can you give us a brief description of the state of our transportation sector, Madam Sponsor?
Mr. Speaker, in terms of marine transport, our agricultural products, 50% of that cost is actually the shipping cost in terms of marine transport. In air transport, for example, this has improved. Before it was very expensive and the service was not really the best, but it has improved because of the influx of competition, having three competitors in the industry, such as Cebu Pacific, Philippine Airlines, and Air Asia. Tiger Air. But land transport, I think we are all witnesses to the delays as well as the long lines for LRT, MRT, the frequent inefficiency of the services in land transport, in rail especially. This has been a perennial problem, not only those living in Metro Manila, but as well as the other urban cities of the country, Mr. Speaker.
That's correct, Mr. Speaker. While transportation and communication has been conventionally classified as public utility, legally speaking, Madam Sponsor, under our civil code, how is transportation and communications classified under Article 1732 of the Civil Code? Is it correct to say that they are classified legally as common carriers?
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Transportation, yes.
And if we exclude transportation and telecommunications under the definition of public utility in the proposed bill, Mr. Speaker, may I know that in terms of regulation, is there anything that will affect the regulation of the government as well as the appropriate licenses, franchises, or certificates of convenience insofar as their operation is concerned? Is there any effect at all?
No, Mr. Speaker. The regulations applying now, whether it is foreign-owned or Filipino-owned, will likewise apply should this bill proposal pass. If the proposed amendments to the Public Service Act, well, during this time, it is being regulated by LTFRB, for example, and it should be 40-60 in terms of ownership. Should the Public Service Act pass the amendments, and it will be classified not anymore as a public utility, and it will be open to foreign investment, 100% investment of foreign investors, it will still apply, the regulations of the LTFRB will still be the same. whether they can, their route, wherever their route should be, their responsibility as common carriers with the due diligence that they should practice, that will still apply. The only difference is the ownership will be different. We will allow foreign investment more than 40%.
And is it also correct that regardless of whether it is 60% owned by Filipinos or 100% owned by foreign investors, that same company will still register and be regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission, and any franchise, if any, is issued, that same franchise will have to undergo the process and scrutiny of this body before it can be issued to a transport or telecommunications company.
Yes, Mr. Speaker. Just to elaborate on my answer, Mr. Speaker, the authority of CAB over air transport, or CAAP, Department of Energy in terms of electricity, DOTR, ERC, LTFRB, all of the powers and functions and the authority of this administrative agency will still be the same whether we pass the amendment of the Public Service Act or not. In fact, it will be more stringent because we have made some general changes in which the penalties have been increased. Because right now, the penalties, as is the Public Service Act, is only 200 pesos per day. We have increased it to a maximum of 2 million pesos a day, which is more reasonable because this will apply to bus companies, to shipping companies, as well as airline industries, as well as electricity companies, Mr. Speaker.
That's correct. Mr. Speaker, in fact, in the deliberations of the 1987 Constitution, if we go back to the journals, we can see that originally, the Constitutional Convention intended that only 25% will be owned by foreign owners. It was raised to 1/3, and eventually, it was increased to 40%. Madam Speaker, before we end, just to stress on the regulation side, what would you prefer? A 100% foreign-owned company whose articles of incorporation lists down its incorporators, its board of directors, its management team, and registered with the Securities and Exchange Commission, and the same officers are updated annually through the General Information Sheet, also submitted to the Securities and Exchange Commission, or a 60% owned, Filipino-owned company investing in transportation and 40% owned by foreigners, where actually it is completely possible that the 60% owned stockholders by Filipinos are controlled by the 40% minority foreigners that we can never find out if they can hide it very carefully. Would that scenario be better or worse for the country?
The first choice would be better, Mr. Speaker, because in fact, the second scenario that was explained by the good interpellator is existent in many industries, whether ranging from electricity to transportation to telecommunications. With the proposal of opening it to foreign investors, there will be more transparency as far as the ownership and management of these companies, in which we are practically unveiling the corporate veil in this sense. Mr.
So will you agree with me, Madam Sponsor, that in terms of transparency, in terms of regulation, as well as national security, it would be best if we can have a foreign company listed, openly regulated and transparent, rather than a 40% owned foreign company where we cannot completely control or determine specifically who has the beneficial ownership or who has the actual control.
Yes, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I have no further questions for the good sponsor. I would like to thank her for answering questions I proposed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Majority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we suspend consideration of House Bill number 78.
Is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved.
Mr. Speaker, may you please recognize my guests from the Rotary Club of Centennial Fairview and Aguinaldo, Cavite. They are Cecil Muñez Jr., Amelita Banzon, Chris Perido, Emily Alarte, Dianica Mensahi, Freeman Mensa, Rick Doria, Flor Camerino Sico, Sylvie Mayis, Evelyn Dominguez, and John Peter Ferrer.
To the guests of Representative Bernadette Herrera D., welcome to the House of Representatives. Majority Leader,
Mr. Speaker, I move that we read additional references of business.
is there any objection? The chair hears none. Motion is approved. The Secretary General is hereby directed to read the title of the bills.
Additional reference of business, committee report. Report on the Committee on Local Government regarding House Bill number 5568.
To the Committee on Rules, Majority Leader,
I move that we suspend session.
session suspended.
Kasama kami.
Para lang ginsa, nag-research.
Sa sunod ulit. Ano ba pinanalunan mo? Session resumed.
Mr. Speaker, I move that we adjourn session until November 25, 3 p.m.
Session is adjourned until 3 p.m. of November 25, 2019.
Mapa-declare pag ano.
Hindi na pa-trace. Buti naka-rescue ka. Siguro, ano na yun, last na yun. Terminate na, terminate.